Chapter 10:18. A helpless result, but even so, Lin Yi was still a little disappointed. Before, Lin Yi even wanted to transfer the energy out and cultivate it back so that he could level up quickly. But now it seemed like that idea was really stupid. Breaking and building for Lin Yi was indeed a support for leveling up, but it was only a support. If he didn't reach the next level, he wouldn't be able to level up even if he used the energy to recover 100 times. This kind of opportunism was not a good idea. Thinking about it, Lin Yi found it laughable. This idea was too stupid. If it really worked, then wouldn't he be able to level up to Sky Class in no time? Even Sky Class wouldn't be that easy to reach. Recovered. Uncle Fu sucked in a breath of cold air. Faubert knew exactly how much pure qi Lin Yi transferred to him. Not only did it repair his meridians, but it also turned him from a normal person to a peak late-phase golden class master. How much energy did that take? Even if Lin Yi didn't drop to Mystic Class, he would still be extremely weak. But Lin Yi recovered so quickly? But thinking about how shocking Lin Yi was before, Faubert could only smile bitterly. Lin Yi wasn't someone that could be judged by common sense. Faubert, now that my strength has recovered, let's do another experiment and see if it can help you break through again. Lin Yi said. Experiment again? You've just recovered your strength. Is that okay? Faubert looked at Lin Yi in surprise. He didn't think that he'd just recovered his strength, and now he was going to help him recover. We have to try it. Lin Yi nodded firmly. He didn't have the habit of giving up halfway, so once he decided on something, he had to do it. Oh. Okay then. Faubert saw how determined Lin Yi was and nodded. It seems like I have no choice but to agree. Then I'll have to trouble you. Lin Yi shook his head and smiled. What's there to trouble? I just want to have an Earth class by my side. That way, House Yu and Xiao family won't be a threat anymore. Haha. Faubert heard Lin Yi's words and couldn't help but laugh. Yeah, if I was at my peak, what would House Yu and Xiao family amount to? They're just a common world noble house. They're nothing now. I'm just worried about the hidden house behind House Yu, Lin Yi said. Hidden house, yes. Although Uncle Fu didn't say anything, his words still carried a hint of pride. When Uncle Fu was young, he must have been someone who could stand shoulder to shoulder with a hidden house, right? Lin Yi put his hand on Uncle Fu's shoulder again and said in a low voice, Uncle Fu, it's about to start, please get ready. Faubert, it's about to begin. Please get ready. Faubert's smile disappeared and was replaced with a serious expression. He didn't want Lin Yi to waste more qi for him, but he was looking forward to breaking through again. Lin Yi activated the art of dragon mastery, preparing to transfer the energy in his body to Faubert's body. However, something strange happened again. The qi circulated in Lin Yi's body, but it didn't go to Faubert's body at all. Faubert, have you started your own chant? Lin Yi was startled and asked. Yes, I'm doing it now. Faubert nodded. It hasn't started yet? Let me try again. Lin Yi frowned and continued to activate the art of dragon mastery. However, the situation was still the same. His qi couldn't be transferred to Faubert through his hands. It was as if Faubert didn't need his qi at all and couldn't get it from his body. This was exactly the same situation as yesterday. Lin Yi's qi couldn't be used by Faubert. Half an hour passed. Although Lin Yi's qi hadn't been consumed at all, he was so tired that his face was flushed and he was sweating profusely. Faubert wasn't relaxed either. Because of his cultivation and anxiety, he was also sweating profusely. Sigh. Lin Yi let out a long breath unwillingly, but at this moment, he had to give up. He had no way to transfer qi to Faubert's body. If you can't do it, just give up. I can cultivate by myself. It's not a problem. Faubert saw how tired Lin Yi was and quickly said. But Lin Yi wasn't willing. He really wasn't willing. Is it because Faubert's cultivation technique is different from mine? But even if it's different, isn't my cultivation technique omnipotent? Why does it suddenly not work? Lin Yi stood up and wanted to move his numb body. He accidentally saw General Wei Wu. Lin Yi's expression changed slightly and he called General Wei Wu. General Wei Wu, come here. Woof woof. Ever since General Wei Wu was made into a master by Lin Yi, it was extremely close to Lin Yi. When Lin Yi called for it, it ran over happily and jumped into Lin Yi's arms. Lin Yi thought that if Faubert's cultivation technique was different from his, then he and General Wei Wu would be considered as the dog of the same master. So Lin Yi wanted to try and see if he could increase General Wei Wu's strength. Lin Yi hugged General Wei Wu and activated the art of dragon mastery. However, what disappointed Lin Yi was that only a small amount of energy entered General Wei Wu's body. What happened next was exactly the same as Faubert's situation. The energy transfer stopped abruptly. Lin Yi couldn't transfer any more energy into General Wei Wu's body. General Wei Wu was a dog with the strength of the peak of the late phase of the golden class. The little bit of energy that was transferred was probably only enough to make up for General Wei Wu's energy consumption. When General Wei Wu fought against Yu Bide, it probably used up some of its energy. However, General Wei Wu didn't know how to cultivate and recover on its own, so it used up all its energy. It could only rely on Lin Yi to replenish its energy. However, after replenishing its energy, it was impossible to transfer more energy into General Wei Wu. Lin Yi couldn't help but fall into deep thought again. It was the same for General Wei Wu. It couldn't break through anymore. What was the reason? Lin Yi, the strength of the peak of the late phase of the golden class is not bad. Seeing the disappointment on Lin Yi's face, Faubert quickly comforted him. Hee. I know. Lin Yi sighed and said, Faubert, go do what you need to do. I'm going to school now. Since it had come to this, Lin Yi could only give up. It seemed like he was too naive. He thought that his energy was omnipotent and he could mass-produce masters. Chapter 1019. Jiao Lao's explanation. Although being at the peak of the late phase of the golden class was already a very powerful existence in the mortal world, it was almost like a phoenix feather. But it was useless to Lin Yi now. Lin Yi's enemies were all from the noble houses and not the mortal world. They were all mystic class masters. Faubert and General Wei Wu couldn't help him either. Whatever, it seemed like trickery wasn't a good idea. He still had to rely on himself. Faubert saw that Lin Yi was shaking his head and sighing. He knew that he must be very disappointed, so he didn't say much and just sighed. Xiao Yi, I'll go to Mr. Chu's company, you drive to school yourself? And I'll go myself, Lin Yi said. I'll go take a shower first, Faubert, you can go first. Okay. Faubert saw that Lin Yi had recovered his strength, so he didn't worry anymore and left the mansion. Lin Yi returned to his room and asked Jiao Lao in the jade space eagerly. Jiao Lao, isn't my energy omnipotent? Why can't Faubert become an Earth-class master? Why can't I increase General Wei Wu's strength? Lin Yi was in a rush to recover his strength, so he didn't have time to talk to Jiao Lao. Now that he failed, he wanted to ask Jiao Lao the reason. I'm not sure either, Jiao Lao's voice rang in Lin Yi's ears. I see. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Even Jiao Lao didn't know the reason? I haven't finished. Jiao Lao was obviously unhappy with Lin Yi's interruption, but I have some guesses. Jiao Lao, please speak. Lin Yi quickly asked. Although I'm not sure about your situation, I've seen something similar before. Elder Jiao said slowly, in some martial arts sects, there are some secret techniques that can be used to pass on their skills. It can also be called inheritance or empowerment. Inheritance? Empowerment? Lin Yi blinked. That's right. It's when an elderly person passes on his life's cultivation to his disciple through a secret technique, allowing his disciple's strength to increase rapidly. Zhao Yazi said, however, after receiving the inheritance, the disciple will always be one level lower than the master. Only by diligently cultivating in the future, will the disciple be able to reach the master's height. One level lower. Lin Yi nodded thoughtfully. Yes, if all strengths can be passed on, then their sects will be infinitely strong, and there will be countless masters. Then would other sects still need to survive? Zhao Yazi said, but even so, these sects are still very big. Jiao Lao, you mean that this is also a type of inheritance? Lin Yi nodded and asked. Should be about the same. Zhao Yazi said, it's just that after you pass on the inheritance, you can quickly recover your strength in the space of the jade, but others can't. That is indeed the case. Lin Yi's golden finger was indeed a bit overpowered. So, you are now a mystic class master, and according to the theory of inheritance, you can only pass on a master one level lower than you. The peak of the late phase of the golden class is already the limit. Zhao Yazi said. Sigh, it would have been better if I talked to you earlier, then I wouldn't have to waste my energy to experiment. Lin Yi listened to Zhao Yazi's guess and knew that it wasn't far from the truth. How do you know it won't work if you don't experiment? I saw that your experiment failed, so I came to this conclusion. Jiao Yazi laughed. Otherwise, I would have thought that you could make an Earth-class master. Yes. But if only Faubert could enter the space of the jade. Lin Yi sighed to himself. But as soon as this thought came out, Lin Yi quickly rejected it. Not to mention that he was the only one who could enter the space of the jade. Even if Faubert could enter, Lin Yi wouldn't let him. After all, this was Lin Yi's biggest trump card. Although Lin Yi felt that Faubert was trustworthy, this kind of secret should be kept to himself. One more person meant one more danger. During the experiment, Lin Yi was sweating profusely. Now that he communicated with Jiao Lao, Lin Yi completely gave up on the idea of making an Earth-class master because it was unrealistic, unless he had the strength of a Heaven-class master. But if he had the strength of a Heaven-class master, then what was the use of making an Earth-class master in batches? Lin Yi took off his clothes, turned on his phone, and went to the bathroom to take a shower. Lin Yi was afraid of being disturbed, so he turned off his phone. He didn't know if anyone contacted him. Dong Hai, Dr. Kang's house. In front of Dr. Kang's villa stood the two brothers, Xiao Ji and Xiao Ben. They were holding expensive gifts in their hands. They were here to visit Dr. Kong. After receiving the report, Dr. Kong wasn't in a hurry to let the brothers in. Instead, he called Kong Guifeng, Kong Cuipu, Kong Xiaolong, and Kong Mingming together for a family meeting. The Xiao family is most likely here for Xiaolong's marriage. Guifeng, what do you think? Dr. Kong looked at his eldest son and asked faintly. Father, from what I see, the Xiao family is like a stray dog. Uncle Pai is in a vegetative state, and the Xiao family owes Lin Yi a huge debt. The Xiao family is about to be destroyed, and we should stay away from them. Kong Guifeng voiced his opinion. As far as he was concerned, the Xiao family had lost their value. Dr. Kong nodded. In fact, this was the reason why he didn't let the Xiao family brothers enter the house. Dr. Kong had seen the Xiao family's recent misfortune. The Xiao family was done for. They didn't even look like a noble house anymore. They couldn't even compare to the rich families of other places. To put it nicely, the Xiao family was still a noble house, but anyone could see that the Xiao family would be removed from the noble house meeting soon. A family that couldn't even compare to a normal noble house, let alone a noble house. Guifeng is right, the Xiao family situation is tragic. Miracle Dr. Kong said. We wanted to use House Xiao to enter the ranks of a noble house, but they can't even protect themselves right now. Not only can they not provide us with any benefits, but if we were to marry them now, their debts and the mess they've left behind will fall on us. Cuipu, what do you think? Miracle Dr. Kong shifted his gaze to his second son. Chapter 1020. House Kang's attitude towards the Xiao family, ridiculous. Merge? Then are we House Kong or Xiao family? Dr. Kong waved his hand, cutting Cuipu off impatiently. All right, that's enough. Xiaolong, tell us. Yes, Grandpa. Xiaolong walked up respectfully. Grandpa, second uncle's words are reasonable, but what we need to do isn't merge, we need to replace them. The Xiao family is in dire straits, and we need to make them even worse. Only when the Xiao family's title as an aristocratic family is removed will our Kong family have the chance to be promoted to a new aristocratic family. Looking at all the noble houses right now, we have the most potential. Oh, not bad. Dr. Kong couldn't help but laugh at Xiaolong's words. Ha ha ha. Xiaolong is right, the Xiao family is in dire straits, and we need to make them even worse. Only when they're in dire straits will we have a chance. Good. Good. What a great idea. Grandpa, you're too kind. Xiaolong smiled humbly. Cuipu frowned. What kind of logic was there in his words? If it weren't for Xiaolong giving him some face, he'd know that his words were bullshit. But his mind wasn't on this, and he didn't have any brains. What about Xiao Ming? What do you think? Dr. Kong looked at Kong Mingming. Grandpa, actually, Big Brother's words make sense, but I don't think they're completely right. Kong Mingming felt that his father had lost face, and as a son, he should earn it back. Plus, Kong Ming wanted to leave a good impression in front of his grandpa, so he'd thought about it for a long time before saying this. Tell me, what's not completely right? Dr. Kong took Kong Mingming's words seriously. Kong Ming may be a spoiled brat, but he was much better than his old man Cuipu. Grandpa, as the saying goes, Even a salted fish can still make a comeback one day. Kong Mingming said, although the Xiao family is down now, they are still an aristocratic family. We don't know how many connections they have. If they really make a comeback, it's hard to say. Stage a comeback? Dr. Kong shook his head. In his opinion, how could the Xiao family stage a comeback? It's more like a broken family. However, Kong Mingming had made a lot of contributions to the family recently, so Dr. Kong couldn't reprimand him. He just continued to ask, in your opinion, what should we do? I think the marriage with the Xiao family can't be broken, but not with Big Brother. Kong Mingming laughed a little embarrassedly. We can transfer the marriage to me. I'll accept that pretty girl from the Xiao family reluctantly. I'm a spoiled brat from House Kong, and the Xiao family is down now. It won't affect us if I kick her out, because I'm a spoiled brat who only plays with women. No one can say anything if I kick her out, but Big Brother won't be able to. But if they don't fall, we can still maintain our relationship. Miracle Dr. Kong fell into deep thought after hearing Zhao Ming's words. Zhao Long, on the other hand, laughed heartily as he looked at Zhao Ming. Lil bro, you like Wang Xinyan? Pretty girls are everywhere. No matter what, she's still your sister-in-law. It's not good for you to think like that. Kong Mingming did have his own selfish motives, so he blushed when he was exposed. He argued, I'm doing this for the good of House Kong. Let's do as Zhao Long says. Dr. Kong didn't say anything more about Kong Mingming's opinion. Zhao Long is right. People who do big things shouldn't care so much about women. Yes, Grandpa. Kong Mingming wasn't convinced. In fact, he really felt that way. As for getting Wang Xinyan, he had his own selfish motives. But what if the Xiao family wasn't stripped of their noble house title? House Yu had been at a disadvantage recently as well. What if House Yu decided to lay low during the noble house meeting and let the Xiao family go? Or maybe they had the same thoughts as the enemies of the Xiao family. The Xiao family was still useful to them. But Kong Mingming knew that nothing he said would change anything. He could only let his grandpa think that he was playing with Wang Xinyan. Of course, that was exactly what he was thinking. Since House Kong had decided on how to deal with the Xiao family, there was no need to hide anything. Kong Guifeng walked out of House Kang's villa and welcomed the Xiao family brothers. Xiao Ji and Xiao Ben had been waiting in front of House Kang's villa for a long time. They'd already sent someone to notify them, but after waiting for half an hour, no one from House Kong came out. Brother, do you think House Kong won't want to see us? Damn it, what a snob. When our Xiao family was powerful, they tried so hard to get close to us, but now that something has happened to us, they treat us with this attitude. Xiao Ji was a hot-tempered man, and when he got impatient, he yelled, How long has it been? Half an hour, right? Still no one? What kind of bullshit is House Kong playing? Xiao Ben sighed as he looked at his raging brother. Brother, calm down. Our Xiao family isn't in trouble right now, is it? Uncle Pai's in a vegetative state, and our Xiao family's only hope is gone. We owe Lin Yi a huge debt, and we're in a lot of trouble right now. It's normal that House Kong doesn't want to see us. Normal? I think it's just a shameless snob, Xiao Ji humphed. What the hell are you talking about? Brother, someone's here. Stop arguing. Xiao Ben's eyes were sharp, and he saw the door move a little. He quickly stopped Xiao Ji from cursing anymore, in case he offended someone. Xiao Ji quickly shut his mouth when he heard that someone was here. He was just cursing a little, and he didn't dare curse anymore if someone from House Kong really came out. After all, they were here to beg for help, not the other way around. But what the Xiao family brothers didn't expect was that the person who came out was Dr. Kang's eldest son, Kong Guifeng, Xiaolong's father by marriage. Xiao Ben heaved a sigh of relief. There was still hope if someone of such importance was sent to greet the two brothers. With that thought, he quickly went over with a smile. Kong bro, why did you come out to greet us personally? I'm sorry. Xiao Ji paused as well. He didn't think that Kong Guifeng would come out to greet them personally, and his anger lessened a lot. He quickly went over as well. Kong bro. Chapter 10:21. A bad memory. Kong Guifeng's attitude took Xiao Ji and Xiao Ben by surprise. They were considered in-laws with Kong Guifeng, and even if they weren't married yet, Kong Guifeng shouldn't be this cold, should he? It was as if he didn't know them at all. Brother Kong, what do you mean? Xiao family and House Kong are in-laws. Isn't it inappropriate for them to visit each other? Xiao Ben pretended to be confused. In-laws? Since when did our families become in-laws? Kong Guifeng blinked. I don't think so, Xiao Ben. Xiao Ben, did you remember wrongly? Xiao Ben was taken aback by Kong Guifeng's words as well. He didn't think that Kong Guifeng would say something like that. Wasn't he just denying it? Xiao Ben's face darkened. Kong bro, didn't your son Xiaolong and my niece Wang Xinyan already set an engagement? Set an engagement? Look at my memory. Are you for real? Guifeng, on the other hand, didn't know what was going on. He slapped his head. I really can't remember. Can you remind me? When was the engagement ceremony, and which hotel was it held? Who attended the engagement banquet? Wah! Xiao Ben and Xiao Ji froze. This engagement was clearly a verbal agreement. How could there be an engagement ceremony and an engagement banquet? They hadn't even started yet, so where was the hotel or the witnesses? Xiao Ben and Xiao Ji finally understood that Kong Guifeng was doing this on purpose. He wanted to cancel the engagement. Their Xiao family was in dire straits, and Kong Guifeng probably didn't want to get married to the Xiao family anymore. That was why he was acting dumb. Kong bro, isn't this our verbal agreement? Xiao Ben said, suppressing his anger. He knew that he couldn't lose his temper at this time. Once he lost his temper, he wouldn't have a chance. That would be falling into the Kong family's trap. They would use his anger as an excuse to cut ties with the Kong family. Verbal agreement? Kong Guifeng frowned. I don't remember anything. You! Xiao Ben was pissed, and Xiao Ji was on the verge of going berserk. Hey, I'm sorry. Look at my memory. I've been forgetful lately. I can't remember anything that happened before. Many scammers have come to me recently, saying that I agreed to marry them, but they can't prove it. Kong Guifeng shook his head, troubled. How about this, Xiao Ben? Your Xiao family is an aristocratic family. I believe that you aren't scammers, but there's no proof. Show me some evidence to prove that Xiaolong and your Xiao family have a marriage. I'll definitely approve of it. After all, Xiao family is an aristocratic family. It's an honor for us to marry you. You motherfucker. Xiao Ji was about to scold him, but Xiao Ben glared at him. Hee, if that's the case, why do we need evidence? Why don't we make the decision now and rearrange the marriage? Our Xiao family also thinks that your Kong family is a good choice. Xiao Ben was a smart man, so he followed up on Kong Guifeng's topic. Kong Guifeng was stunned. He didn't expect Xiao Ben to catch on to his weakness. He couldn't help but be annoyed at his own carelessness. Xiao Ji was also looking at his little brother in admiration. Amazing, truly amazing. Luckily I didn't scold him, or else this matter would have been ruined and irreversible. Xiao Ben, you're right. However, I still can't agree to it. Kong Guifeng shook his head and rejected again. Why is that? Why? Brother Kang's words just now were just flattery? Xiao Ben took the opportunity to ask. That's not it. It's just that our Xiaolong is indeed engaged to another family, but I can't remember who it is at the moment. So before everyone finds the evidence, I can't just casually arrange another engagement for Xiaolong for the time being. What if someone really has evidence and says that our Kong family broke off the marriage? Kong Guifeng said. So, Brother Xiao Ben, you better go back and find evidence. Sigh, this memory of mine. I'm getting old, and my brain isn't working well anymore. After that, Kong Guifeng turned around and walked back to the villa. As he walked, he waved at the Xiao family brothers. I still have something to do, so I won't be seeing you off. Xiao Ben's face was gloomy. The situation was clear. The Kong family broke off the marriage. They abandoned the Xiao family. However, one couldn't blame the Kong family for being snobbish. It couldn't be helped. After all, the Xiao family was in dire straits. It was normal for the Kong family to break off the marriage. Which great family would want to find a helper for themselves through marriage, not a burden? Phew. Xiao Ben let out a long sigh and said, Brother, let's go back. It's over. Motherfucker. Are you blind? When the Xiao family makes a comeback, even if your Kong family licks my toes, I won't abandon you. Xiao Ji scolded loudly. Dr. Kong, you old bastard. You go back on your words. You will die a horrible death. Motherfucker. However, the Kong family's door was closed, and they didn't pay attention to them. Obviously, after Kong Guifeng went back, he didn't plan to come out again. Let's go. Xiao Ben turned around helplessly and walked to the car. Kong family, just you wait. Sooner or later, you will regret it. After Xiao Ji finished scolding, he also vented his anger and left the Kong family's villa with Xiao Ben in the car. At the gate of the Kong family's villa, Kong Guifeng sneered as he watched the two Xiao family brothers leave. He sneered. The Xiao family? You have become a street rat. Do you still expect to make a comeback? In your mother's daydream. After Xiao Ji and Xiao Ben got into the car, Xiao Ji didn't stop cursing. All kinds of vulgar words and dialects came out of his mouth. In any case, he described the Kong family viciously and cursed all 18 generations of the Kong family's ancestors. All right, brother, stop scolding them. This is the fate of the Xiao family. Xiao Ben sighed and said, now, we should think about the future of the Xiao family. That's true. Xiao Ji nodded. Although he was rude, he knew that it was useless to be angry now. Even if he scolded the Kong family, it wouldn't change the current situation of the Xiao family. Have you found any information on Uncle Pai's background? Xiao Ben asked. I've already asked Xiao Wangba and Xiao Wangdao to look in our family's diary. But it's been too long, and we don't have a target. We don't know when we'll find it, Xiao Ji said. If only Uncle Pai could wake up and talk. Xiao Ben said. Chapter 10:22. Xiaoxiao's rage. Lin Yi took a nice hot shower, washing away the sweat on his body. He put on his clothes and was about to leave when he realized that there were 10 missed calls and 20 messages. The text messages could be sent at different times and received as soon as the phone was turned on, but the phone call must have just arrived. Lin Yi checked the missed calls. There was only one from Tang Yun, and the rest were all from Xiaoxiao. Lin Yi paused, but he still checked the messages first. Lin Yi was speechless. They were all from Xiaoxiao. Darling, I miss you. This message came in the middle of the night. I got up early this morning. Come and pick me up early. This was sent in the morning. I'm done packing, going downstairs. This was from morning as well. Lin Yi? Why didn't you reply? This was from morning as well. Lin Yi, are you coming to pick me up or not? Why haven't I seen you? I'm going to be late. This was from morning as well. Wah, did you forget about me? This was from morning as well. Your phone's turned off. You really aren't coming to pick me up. This was from morning as well. Lin Yi, you bastard. You should at least tell me if you don't want me anymore. I woke up in the middle of the night to get dressed. This was from morning as well. I'll take a taxi to school myself. Can't wait. This was from morning as well. Why didn't you come to school today? Where are you? What's wrong? This was from morning as well. Why's your phone still turned off? What's wrong? This was from morning as well. Lin Yi smiled bitterly as he looked at Xiaoxiao's long list of messages, slapping his forehead helplessly. Only then did she remember that she'd promised Xiaoxiao yesterday that she'd take her to school this morning. But because of Uncle Fu, she didn't get to go. What about Yun Yin? How did she go to school? Lin Yi looked at his messages, and under the sea of messages from Xiaoxiao, he finally saw one from Tang Yun. Lin Yi, Faubert came to pick me up for school this morning. He said that you need to rest after healing him. I'm fine, you can rest well. Lin Yi looked at Tang Yun's message and realized that it was Faubert who picked her up in the morning. Because Lin Yi didn't wake up, Faubert knew that Lin Yi had to pick Tang Yun up at school every day, so he naturally took on this responsibility. But he didn't know about Xiaoxiao's sudden incident, and the Miss and Yushu evidently didn't think of Xiaoxiao. After all, Xiaoxiao usually drove to school by herself. Who knew that she would have a date with Lin Yi today? Lin Yi sighed and decided to call Xiaoxiao first. Lin Yi, you finally called me. I'm so happy. You called the small wife first. Xiaoxiao's excited voice came from the other side of the phone. Lin Yi wanted to apologize to Xiaoxiao, because from her message, he could tell that she was quite angry, and he did screw her over, making her wait the whole morning for nothing. But before Lin Yi could say anything, Xiaoxiao called out excitedly, forcing Lin Yi to swallow the apology he was about to say. I was healing someone and forgot the time, so I didn't wake up this morning. Lin Yi said. Okay, I know, I knew you wouldn't ignore me for no reason. As expected, you didn't even talk to the big wife and called the small wife first. Yun'in's sis is getting jealous. Xiao said happily. Xiao, what are you talking about? Who's getting jealous? Tang Yun said helplessly. She didn't feel anything about Lin Yi calling Xiao first. She didn't want to get jealous with Xiao, and besides, Xiao had called Lin Yi a dozen times and texted him 20 times, while she only sent one. She'd already said that she knew about Lin Yi's situation, so it was reasonable for Lin Yi to call Xiao first. What was there to be jealous about? Oh, you're with Yun'in? Lin Yi blinked, sweating. Tang Yun wouldn't be unhappy that he called Xiao first, would she? But Tang Yun's voice didn't sound different, so she wasn't angry anymore. I couldn't find you, so I went to Yun'in's sis. I asked and found out that you didn't come to pick me up because you were healing someone, Xiao said. Yun'in's sis called you just now and got through, but you didn't pick up, so I called you a bunch. Haha. Lin Yi shook his head with a smile. This Xiao was quite an optimist, getting angry fast, getting happy fast, getting excited fast again. Are you coming to school in the afternoon? Xiao asked. Yeah, I'll be there in a bit. Lin Yi said. Okay. Xiao was excited. She'd gotten up in the middle of the night to dress up, preparing to surprise Lin Yi in the morning, but she didn't even see Lin Yi. She couldn't help but feel disappointed. If she didn't see Lin Yi today, her makeup would be for nothing. Give the phone to Yun'in, I'll talk to her. Lin Yi said. Since Tang Yun was by Xiao's side, Lin Yi didn't need to bother calling. Okay, Yun'in's sis, Lin Yi's looking for you. Xiao passed the phone to Tang Yun. Tang Yun took the phone and couldn't help but smile. Lin Yi, you got a second wife and forgot about the main one? Haha, of course not. Lin Yi smiled. He could tell that Tang Yun was joking. Stop fooling around. Are you all right? If you're tired, then don't come in the afternoon. Tang Yun cared about Lin Yi. After all, she and Lin Yi had been together for a long time. She didn't need to rush to see Lin Yi. I'm fine. See you later. Lin Yi said casually. All right. See you later. Is there anything else you need from Xiao? Tang Yun asked. Nope. I'm hanging up. Lin Yi said before hanging up. Tang Yun gave the phone back to Xiao, who happily put it away. Yun'in sis, I look good now, right? I don't need to touch up my makeup from this morning, right? It's already good, you don't need to. Tang Yun smiled. Really? That's not bad. Xiao nodded. Lin Yi drove to school and parked his car at the food street behind the school, next to Xiao's car. But beside Xiao's car, there was another luxury car. It was a black Lamborghini. Chapter 1023. Lin Yi jumped. Was this Xie Yufeng pretty rich? He bought a sports car on his first day of school transfer? But Lin Yi only took one look before walking back to school. What car Yufeng drove had nothing to do with him. As long as he didn't mess with him, he could do whatever he wanted. When Lin Yi got to school, it was already the first class in the afternoon. Lin Yi walked into the classroom and sat down at his desk. Not long after, the teacher walked in and started the afternoon class. Xiao was disappointed. Lin Yi didn't even look at her when he walked in. Didn't he notice that she was different from usual? Even that idiot Yufeng noticed it. After a while, Lin Yi still didn't look at her. He took out his textbook and listened to the teacher attentively. This made Xiao depressed. Ahem. Xiao couldn't take it anymore. She coughed twice, hoping to get Lin Yi's attention. What's wrong? Do you have a cold? Lin Yi heard Xiao's coughing and asked. But Lin Yi didn't even look at her when he asked. No. Xiao was even more depressed now. Hey Lin Yi, talk to me? What? You're not paying attention anymore? Lin Yi asked. You always skip class. What's there to listen to? Talk to me. Xiao was panicking. Go ahead. I'm listening. Lin Yi nodded. You. Xiao was pissed. She couldn't hold it in anymore. Can't you turn around and look at me? Look at you? Why would I look at you? Lin Yi asked. Just tell me if you dare to look or not. Xiao said, panicking. Ha! Lin Yi's observation skills were extremely sharp. He'd seen Xiaoxiao the moment he entered the classroom, and he'd been stunned by her beauty. The first time he saw Xiaoxiao, she had heavy makeup on, looking like a non-mainstream girl. When she was at school, she didn't have any makeup on, but today she had light makeup on, and her hairstyle was meticulously styled. Even her clothes were carefully matched, with some simple accessories. It made Xiaoxiao look especially beautiful. It was just that Lin Yi wanted to tease Xiaoxiao, so he didn't say it out loud. As expected, Xiaoxiao couldn't wait any longer. "What are you laughing at?" Xiaoxiao asked back. "Do you dare to look or not?" "I wouldn't dare." Lin Yi shook his head. "Ha!" Xiaoxiao paused, not expecting Lin Yi to say no. This caused her to freeze for a moment, then she immediately gritted her teeth. "Lin Yi, why don't you dare?" "Because you're too pretty today. I only took one look at you when I came in, and my heart was already racing. I'm afraid that if I look too much, I'll molest you in the classroom," Lin Yi said. "Ah!" Xiaoxiao's mouth was wide open at Lin Yi's words, but then a smile blossomed on her face. So Lin Yi had seen what she looked like. Xiaoxiao couldn't help but feel happy. She started to say things when she was happy. "It's fine, look again, I'm not afraid of being molested." Ahem. It was Lin Yi's turn to cough. "Lin Yi, what's wrong? Do you have a cold?" Xiaoxiao asked with a smile as she saw him coughing. She knew that Lin Yi was shocked by her words, but it was fun to scare Lin Yi a little. "No." Lin Yi smiled bitterly. "Xiaoxiao, you really are pretty today." "Hee hee, good thing I didn't wake up early for nothing. I almost exploded when I didn't see you this morning, so I went to the washroom to wash off my makeup and messed up my hair." Xiaoxiao smiled. Lin Yi was getting a little restless from Xiaoxiao, but now that both Tang Yun and Tianlong had agreed to the relationship between Lin Yi and Xiaoxiao, and even the Miss and Shu weren't against it, Lin Yi couldn't resist the temptation anymore, and his hands started moving. Xiaoxiao suddenly felt Lin Yi's arms around her waist, and her face reddened. As brave as she was in a classroom, and the teacher was still teaching. She was starting to get nervous. But Lin Yi had finally taken the initiative to get close to her, and she didn't want to let go of Lin Yi's hand. Usually, Lin Yi wouldn't do something like this, and so Xiaoxiao was in a dilemma. Her body was stiff from nervousness, like a lobster that had come back to life. Lin Yi sensed that Xiaoxiao wasn't acting normally, and quickly took his hand away, blaming himself for being impulsive. Xiaoxiao was a girl after all, and while she was a little bold, it wouldn't be good if other people saw him cuddling with her in the classroom. Xiaoxiao breathed out in relief when she felt Lin Yi's hand move away, but she was a little disappointed. Xiaoxiao's heart raced when Lin Yi touched her, and to tell the truth, she really liked this feeling. Was this the pleasure brought by intimate actions between lovers? Xiaoxiao knew that she didn't have much time left, and she didn't care if things progressed too fast or too slow. Since she'd chosen Lin Yi was her one and only boyfriend in this life, and also her last boyfriend. She was going to be 20 soon, and who knew when she'd die? She wanted to enjoy the feeling of being in a relationship, and she didn't have the time to be reserved. But she was afraid that she'd scare Lin Yi if she was too passionate. Tang Yun seemed to be a reserved person, right? At that thought, Xiaoxiao started to struggle. What a headache, she couldn't act too impatient. "Xiaoxiao, I'm sorry," Lin Yi apologized bitterly, thinking that Xiaoxiao was angry when she didn't say anything. It's nothing." Xiaoxiao shook her head. "We're sitting at the back, and no one can see us. You can continue if you want." "Haha, we'll talk about it when there's no one around," Lin Yi controlled his desire and said. "Oh." Xiaoxiao nodded, feeling a little down. But since Lin Yi said that they'd talk about it when there was no one around, that meant that Lin Yi had agreed. Lin Yi would always reject her, but now that he'd agreed, it made Xiaoxiao very happy. She whispered into Lin Yi's ear, "When there's no one around, I'll let you touch my chest." Chapter 10:24. Chapter 10:22. Xie Yufeng's plans, but remembering that they were in the classroom, he shook his head. But Xiaoxiao's words were too tempting and destructive, and he didn't know how she managed to say it. Xiaoxiao didn't mean what she said, but the listener meant what she said. The only thing she could think of being intimate with Lin Yi was that time at the auction, so she just blurted it out naturally, not thinking too much about it. But from Lin Yi's point of view, it sounded a little tempting. "Why are you reacting so strongly?" Lin Yi's actions almost made Xiaoxiao's heart pop out of her chest. She was already nervous, and Lin Yi's sudden quack scared her. It's fine, Xiao. Don't try to tempt me in class. Lin Yi said helplessly. Ah. Xiao blinked, blushing. Since when did I? Haha. Lin Yi smiled. Xiao turned her head away, embarrassed, not daring to look at Lin Yi. She was brave, but she couldn't take Lin Yi's teasing. But, just as Lin Yi and Xiao were teasing each other, an unfriendly gaze shot over, stopping on Xiao's face before glancing at Lin Yi's face. The owner of the gaze had a dark expression as he humphed coldly. This kid's quite popular. Yeah, Master Xie. That kid's a bastard. He made Master Xie so miserable yesterday. Song Ming nodded. Master Xie can't fight. He has to hide his strength. Otherwise, that Lin Yi won't be a match for Master Xie. He's just a mystic early phase. He's so weak in front of Master Xie. House Yu's current understanding of Lin Yi's strength came from Yu Kuan. At that time, Lin Yi was indeed at the early phase of Mystic class, and House Yu would never have dreamt that Lin Yi could rise 2 levels to the middle phase of Mystic class in such a short amount of time. As far as they were concerned, this was impossible and illogical. One had to know how long it would take to level up, and what kind of price one had to pay. House Yu knew this very well, so they didn't think that Lin Yi could level up at all. So Yu Feng didn't know that Lin Yi was already a Mystic mid-phase master. As far as he was concerned, he was a peak early phase Mystic class master. It was more than enough to kill Lin Yi. He couldn't be blamed for thinking so. He didn't have a cheat like Lin Yi, so how could he see through Lin Yi's strength? Of course. But for the sake of House Yu's plan, I can't use my chi. I'll have to bear with it for now. Yu Feng humphed coldly. This Xiao is a slut, too. Look at that dirty face of hers, getting so close with Lin Yi. She's not a good person either. Right. Did you find out anything about the girls I asked you to investigate? Yu Feng wasn't able to get Xiao yesterday, so naturally, he was pissed. Seeing how close Xiao and Lin Yi were, he wasn't too happy either. Master Xie, other than Meng Yao, we've investigated the rest. This Xiao's family isn't anything special. Her father may be a secret agent, but he wouldn't go against House Yu just because of his daughter. Song Ming said. What about the others? Yu Feng nodded. That Yushu is from House Chen. It's best if you don't touch her, Master Xie. Song Ming said. House Chen? Noble House Chen? Yu Feng asked. Yes, her brother is Chen Yutian. Although Chen Yutian is the only practitioner left, it's still a noble house. Song Ming said. So it's best if you don't touch her. Oh, then let her go for now. That girl's pretty bad. I really don't want to mess with her. Yu Feng nodded. What about that Tang Yun? Normal family, her parents are laid off. They don't even have a house, staying in the hospital. Song Ming said. You can touch her, even if you kill her. Oh, not bad. Let's start with Xiao then look for that Tang Yun. Yu Feng nodded. Master Xie, this Xiao girl doesn't seem to be easy to handle. Should we do something? Song Ming suggested. In Yanjing, House Yu was a big family, so Song Ming and Peng Hu didn't care about anything when they were with Yu Feng. As far as they were concerned, hitting on girls like this was a common thing. Not yet, let's wait and see. My charm hasn't been unleashed yet. Once it's unleashed, they'll throw themselves at me. Yu Feng remembered the scene of him getting beaten up yesterday and couldn't help but grit his teeth. Fuck, yesterday was supposed to be a good opportunity, but that Lin Yi kid just had to be there. Not only did I get beaten up, I didn't even get to show my strength. Young Master Xie, those people from yesterday. Do you need me and Li Penghu? Song Ming made a beheading gesture as he said this. No need, we're new here, so it's best not to cause trouble. Yu Feng shook his head. We'll let them go for now, but we won't let this go just like that. We need to find out who they are first. No problem. Song Ming nodded. Yu Feng and the others were talking with their backs turned, so no one could hear them. Because of the angle they were at, they weren't worried that Lin Yi could read their lips. But, although Lin Yi didn't hear what they were saying, he knew that they were up to no good just by looking at how they were mumbling. He tightened his guard. The second class in the afternoon was physical education. Although some of the subjects were cancelled for the third year of high school, physical education was still maintained. First, it was to give the students a chance to exercise their bodies. Second, It was because Songshan City's high school entrance exam would be added to the physical education test. If they didn't pass, it would affect the exam. The additional PE test was a selective one, such as running, long jump, basketball, chin-ups, and sit-ups. The requirements for boys and girls were different as well. So, in order to get a good result in the PE test, the 12th year's PE class became a targeted training. It was just that in the summer, boys and girls didn't wear many clothes, and many girls wore skirts, so it was easier for them to be exposed. So the PE class was separated for boys and girls, 1 week for girls. The girls were in the gymnasium, and there was a female PE teacher to guide them, so they didn't have to hide anything. Many girls would just take off their jackets when it was hot, and they'd just wear a tank top to train. Chapter 1025. Who's Afraid? Just then, Yushu walked over and looked at Xiaoxiao. Oh, Miss Dumb, do you want to go to the gym and have a showdown with me? You're the dumb girl. Xiaoxiao humphed. Let's go, I'm not afraid of you. Xiaoxiao and Yushu hadn't decided who was stronger yesterday, and now that there was a chance, Xiaoxiao wouldn't let it go. Naturally, she didn't know that Yushu was the one who approached her. Mengyao and Yushu had already discussed it, agreeing to Lin Yi dating Xiaoxiao at the last stage of her life. But if things went according to yesterday's situation, there would be some conflict, and if things changed all of a sudden, Xiaoxiao would be suspicious. So, Mengyao told Yushu to think of a way to get closer to Xiaoxiao. At the very least, they wouldn't be so out of place in the future. Lin Yi, here's your phone. Help me take care of it. Xiaoxiao gave the phone to Lin Yi. Phones weren't allowed in the gymnasium. One reason was that it would affect training, and the other was that people with bad intentions might take pictures of students with their phones. That would be a problem. And so, there were electronic detectors at the entrance of the gymnasium, and as time went by, no one brought their phones in anymore. They didn't feel safe leaving their phone in the box at the entrance, afraid that someone might take it away. Okay. Lin Yi nodded and took Xiaoxiao's phone, watching her and Yushu leave the classroom. A smile appeared on Lin Yi's lips. It seemed that Yushu had made her move. With Shu's methods, these two devils would probably be playing together soon. Lin Yi's guess was correct. Yushu was indeed making her move. She was planning to become Xiaoxiao's rival first, and then occasionally work together to mess with her. Their relationship would definitely grow stronger. Lin Yi's previous phone was broken by Ma Zhu, so he was using a phone that was similar to Shu's flip phone, but it had fewer functions. The system wasn't smart, and there wasn't much to play in the games. This class was a physical education class for the girls, but it was a self-study class for the boys. They could read in the classroom, and of course, no one would stop them if they wanted to go to the field to play. However, Year 3 students were more or less self-conscious. Who would want to play when the college entrance examination was coming up? Besides, even if he went to play, who would he play with? Could it be that he was playing by himself? Although Lin Yi would listen attentively in class, he would not review after class. After Xiaoxiao left, Lin Yi played with Xiaoxiao's phone casually, pulling out Plants vs. Zombies and playing it out of boredom. Boss, you're with Xiaoxiao? Kong Xiaobo waited until all the girls were gone before turning around and asking with shifty eyes. What do you mean by with? It sounds so bad. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Heh, I heard you guys whispering in class. I think Xiaoxiao even asked you to touch her chest? Xiaobo said with a chuckle. Lin Yi was speechless. Did Kong Xiaobo hear that? But Lin Yi could only explain, I didn't touch her just now. You know how she is. She dares to say anything. Oh. Kong Xiaobo nodded. I know you didn't touch her, but you guys are developing pretty fast, aren't you? Plus, I saw her with Tang Yun this afternoon. Yeah. Lin Yi nodded. No way, she's that close with Tang Yun? Tang Yun agreed to your relationship with Xiaoxiao? Kong Xiaobo's eyes widened in shock. He had guessed that Tang Yun and Xiaoxiao were getting along peacefully, since they were talking and laughing when he saw them at noon. They didn't look like enemies at all. But hearing Lin Yi's confirmation, Kong Xiaobo gave him a thumbs up. Boss, you're amazing. Too awesome. I admire you so much. You're a master amongst masters at picking up girls. Sweat. Lin Yi sweated. Tang Yun actually accepted Xiaoxiao first, and then she asked me to accept her. You're getting it backwards. What? Kong Xiaobo almost rolled his eyes at Lin Yi's words. Tang Yun accepted her first? That's why Lin Yi accepted her? Are you kidding me? How is that possible? Tang Yun helped Lin Yi find a mistress? Alright, it's a bit complicated. I'll tell you in detail later. Lin Yi didn't want to hide Xiaoxiao's condition from Kong Xiaobo. Only when Kong Xiaobo understood everything would he be able to cooperate with him. What is it? Tell me now. Kong Xiaobo was curious. Sure. Lin Yi nodded. Let's go for a walk then. Kong Xiaobo stood up with Lin Yi, and the two left the classroom, heading downstairs. Yu Feng, Song Ming, and Peng Hu, on the other hand, were whispering to each other, plotting something. Master Xia, I heard that girls don't wear much in PE class, and some of them are revealing. Song Ming said softly. Oh. Yu Feng was interested. Really? Of course it's true. Think about it. It's summer now, and the gym is hot. You'd be sweating when you exercise, and then... Heh. Song Ming said with a perverted smile. Then wouldn't there be a lot of peeping? You just transferred here, and you already know about it. How could the people who used to study here not know about it? Yu Feng didn't really believe it. Of course they know, but the gym's windows are really high, and the shortest is at least 3 meters. Who can even look up there? Song Ming smiled. Only a master like you can fly up there. But that's not a good idea, right? What if someone sees it? Yu Feng hesitated. Although peeping was very exciting, he couldn't afford to lose his reputation. Especially when he wanted to pick up girls in school. He might feel good after peeping for a while, but if he was discovered, his reputation would go down the drain. Behind the gym is the mountain behind the school. Who would see it? Song Ming smiled. I've already scouted the area. You've planned this all along, huh? Yu Feng nodded after hearing that the back of the gym was facing the mountain behind the school. That's right. I've already thought about it. I'll use the camera to take pictures of Xiao Xiao and the others, and use it to threaten them. If they don't listen to Master Xia, I'll expose them. Let's see how shameless they are. Chapter 1026. Fight to the death. Alright, we'll go now. Is the camera ready? Yu Feng asked. Phones won't be able to record clearly. Of course, it's a new product, 60x optical zoom. I just bought it. Song Ming took out a small camcorder from his bag and smiled at Yu Feng. What do you think? Not bad, right? I heard you can even use it to shoot AV. Oh, it looks pretty good. Yu Feng took it and played with it before giving it back to Song Ming. Let's go, we'll go peep. The three walked out of the classroom, and Yu Feng suddenly remembered that Lin Yi had left the classroom as well. Lin Yi wouldn't be peeping too, would he? It's possible. Song Ming nodded. Why else would he go out? Don't let him see us. Yu Feng frowned. It'd be better if he sees us. We'll use the camera to record him, and when the thief calls the thief, we'll expose him to the world. Let's see if he'll lose his reputation. Wang Tsongming smiled disapprovingly. He was a rather insidious person, and he could always think of some dirty tricks. That's a good idea, killing without leaving a trace. Humph, Lin Yi, let's see if he's good with women. Will expose him for peeping on girls in PE class. Yu Feng nodded in approval. Lin Yi naturally didn't know that Yu Feng was already thinking of him as a pervert. Lin Yi and Kong Xiaobo were sitting on a flower bed in the school field, talking. Boss, does that mean Xiao Xiao is really going to die? She has a terminal illness, and even you can't do anything about it? Kong Xiaobo's eyes went wide after hearing Lin Yi's explanation. He never would have thought that the energetic Xiao Xiao was someone who was about to die. I can't do anything about it either. Lin Yi shook his head helplessly. My medical skills aren't omnipotent. It's limited to the known illnesses, but for the unknown, I can't do anything about it. I said it before, I can't find anything in Xiao Xiao's body. How am I supposed to cure her? That's true. We don't even know what illness she has, so how can we cure it? Kong Xiaobo sighed. She's so pitiful, even the heavens are jealous of her beauty. Yeah, I thought she had an ulterior motive when she approached me, but it doesn't matter now. She's willing to let me teach her how to race, or anything else. She only has less than a year left to live, and I'll try my best to satisfy her wishes. Lin Yi had thought things through as well. If Xiao Xiao liked racing, then he'd do his best to satisfy her wishes, but this racing couldn't be done on normal roads. It was too dangerous. Lin Yi decided to bring Xiaoxiao to a race and let her experience what it was like to race. Boss, actually, Xiaoxiao told me a couple of times about you before, but I didn't tell you. Kong Xiaobo decided to be honest with Lin Yi after some hesitation. Oh. Lin Yi narrowed his eyes as he smiled at Kong Xiaobo. Kong Xiaobo was a little embarrassed from Lin Yi's stare. He coughed dryly. Boss, actually, Xiaoxiao told me that she likes you and wants to pursue you. I saw how pitiful she was, and my heart softened. I told her how to pursue you. Oh? How? Lin Yi smiled. I told her that you're a good person, boss, and you can be persuaded but not cowed. If she goes against you, then there's no hope, but if she goes along with you, then there's still hope. Kong Xiaobo said, embarrassed. Haha, it's nothing. Lin Yi nodded. Kong Xiaobo's words weren't anything confidential, but as one of Lin Yi's most trusted people, Lin Yi still reminded him. Xiaobo, you mean well, but don't say these things again. You need to learn how to keep it a secret. I know, boss. I regretted it a few days after I said it. Kong Xiaobo smiled bitterly. I read some books about business and management, and they all mentioned the importance of business secrets. But now that I said it, I'm relieved. Haha, this isn't considered a business secret. Lin Yi waved his hand. But if you see a girl who likes me and asks her to chase me, I can't stand it. Ha! This kind of good thing. Why doesn't it happen to me? Kong Xiaobo also smiled. Alright, boss, the product launch at the beginning of next month. Boss Lai also asked me to attend, but I think I'm still in the internship stage. It's not suitable for me to walk on the stage, right? What's not suitable about it? There will be more occasions like this in the future. There will be a process of adaptation, Lin Yi said. When the time comes, just follow Fatty Lai and watch more. Okay, boss. Kong Xiaobo nodded. Let's go, we'll just walk around. Lin Yi sat for a while and felt that the sun was a little hot, so he stood up. Kong Xiaobo had decided to work hard on his business, so the college entrance exams weren't that important anymore. He just needed to spend money to get into a university. He didn't need to be too serious. Studying hard for more than 10 years was just to have a good future, and now that Kong Xiaobo had a bright future, he wouldn't put the cart before the horse. Looking at the familiar campus, Kong Xiaobo felt a little emotional. 2 months ago, he was just a normal student, but after meeting Lin Yi, everything changed. He became the vice president of a company, and he even found a beautiful girlfriend. Although her leg was a little lame, with Lin Yi around, it wouldn't be a problem if it was cured. In the school gymnasium, Xiaoxiao and Yushu were ready for a fight to the death. The two were at the starting line, their eyes wide open as they glared at each other. I told you couldn't do it. You threw the medicine ball so close, you almost hit your own foot. Yushu said proudly. I finally know what it means to shoot yourself in the foot. You're fat, that's why you're stronger than me. Xiaoxiao wasn't happy. She had never practiced medicine ball before, either skipping classes or going to the doctor in school. She didn't have time to study medicine ball. So naturally, she lost to Yushu the first time she threw it. Chapter 1027. Chapter 1025. Successful counterattack. Shu, how could you say something so rude? Meng Yao, who was standing beside Yushu, glared at her when she heard what Yushu said. Hee hee, Yao Yao, I got it. Yushu stuck her tongue out. Xiaoxiao's heart was about to explode as she glared at Yushu. I'll beat you in sprinting for sure. Those 2 balls in front of your chest are just a burden. You'll die from running later. Cut them off if you want to win. I think you're just jealous. Yushu didn't mind at all. Don't you see that your Yun sis is starting to get her breasts enlarged? You're too flat. Shield Bro doesn't like the small ones. Meng Yao, on the other hand, frowned. Lin Yi didn't like the little ones? Then, should she get her breasts enlarged as well? Even Tang Yun was starting to get her breasts enlarged. She couldn't fall behind. The miss had never thought about getting her breasts enlarged before. After all, she'd always lived in a world where she was the center, and she only had Shu as a friend. She didn't need to get her breasts enlarged for anyone, and she didn't care if a man liked her breasts or not, but now, Meng Yao realized that she was starting to care about these things? Yes, it wasn't that she cared, it was that she'd grown up and loved to look pretty. Meng Yao found an excuse for herself. That's right, she loved to look pretty when she'd grown up. Who said that? Lin Yi touched it, and he said it was good, it felt good, he really liked touching it. Xiao said furiously. Touched you? When? Yushu blinked. A while ago, in Yanjing, I was sitting next to him at the auction. Xiao said logically, wanting Yushu to know that she wasn't making it up. Oh, so it's only once? Yushu breathed out in relief, giggling. Shield bro always touched me when he was at home. A couple times already. Bullshit. Xiao said with a smile on her face. She saw the PE teacher raise the flag in his hand, getting ready to run. You're the one who's bullshitting. Yushu was about to retort when she realized something was wrong. Xiao was already gone. Sister Yao and the others also started to run. Haha, big idiot Shu, I'm going first. Xiao was dancing around happily. I'm going to win for sure this time. Wait for me, you're cheating. Yushu started running, chasing after Xiao, but this was a 100-meter dash, and Xiao was already so far away. How was Yushu going to catch up? In order to run faster, Yushu put her hands on her chest as she ran, but by the time she reached the finish line, Xiao was already a few seconds away. Ha ha ha. Xiao was on the verge of tears. Ha ha ha. I won. Xiao, why don't you laugh yourself to death? No wonder you're called Xiao. Yushu was pissed. I wouldn't have lost if you hadn't cheated. What do you mean cheated? The teacher waved the flag, and I started running. What kind of cheated is that? You didn't see it yourself, and you're saying I cheated? You're just a little bit of a renege on society. Xiao finally countered Yushu's shamelessness perfectly. Yushu didn't expect this Xiao to be this strong as well. She couldn't get the upper hand at all when fighting her, and the two of them were evenly matched right now. Ha ha ha. I'm dying of laughter. Xiao didn't stop laughing, but after 2 laughs, she stopped abruptly, clutching her stomach as she crouched down in pain. Yushu looked at Xiao, confused. What's wrong? I just ran, and I'm laughing so hard, it hurts. Xiao said weakly as she crouched on the ground. Ah! Yushu's eyes went wide, almost bursting out in laughter. What did it mean to have extreme joy turn to sorrow? This was it. She was a living example. But remembering Xiao's pitiful life, Yushu couldn't laugh anymore. She crouched down and pulled Xiao up. Let's go. I'll help you to the chair over there to rest. The PE teacher noticed something was wrong and walked over, asking what was going on. Meng Yao stayed behind to explain, telling the teacher that Xiao was just choking, and the teacher let out a sigh of relief before leaving. If something were to happen to the student, the PE teacher would be held responsible as well. Xiao looked at Yushu shocked. The two were enemies, and she didn't believe that Yushu would be so nice as to help her to rest. You're really going to help me to rest? Xiao looked at Yushu in disbelief. Oh! Yushu's brain spun furiously. She was indeed acting a little out of the ordinary. Logically speaking, she should be pointing at Xiao and laughing when she saw her pained face, but Yushu really couldn't laugh at all. However, she finally thought of a reasonable reason and said, I'm evenly matched. Naturally, I won't let you die so quickly. I, little Shu, am a very upright person. I never take advantage of others. So let's wait for you to rest first, then we'll compete again. It's a tie now. Haha, I see. Xiao nodded after hearing Yushu's explanation. You're not a bad person. If you didn't fight with me over Lin Yi, we'd be playing together. Yeah, I think so too, Yushu nodded. The two sat on the chairs at the side of the gym and rested. After resting for a while, Xiao felt more or less recovered, but she didn't dare do any more strenuous exercises. I'm afraid I can't fight you today. I'm still feeling a little uncomfortable, and I'm afraid I'll have a chest ache again. It's fine, we'll fight with words if we can't fight. Yushu said nonchalantly. Fight with words? Xiao blinked. Fight with pranks. See who's better at pranking. Yushu said. That's a good idea. But who are we pranking? I'll say this first, I'm not going to prank Lin Yi. Xiao's but hurt just thinking about pranking Lin Yi. Plus, she didn't want to prank Lin Yi right now. Oh, you can't prank Shield bro, he's too strong. Only an idiot would prank him. Yushu shook her head and looked at Xiao, smiling evilly. Chapter 1028. Chapter 1026. The prankster duo in action. Nothing. Yushu looked up at the sky, as if saying she didn't know anything and didn't need to ask her anything. But all of a sudden, Yushu let out a yelp. What's wrong? Xiaoxiao was curious. Look at the window above us. Yushu pointed at the top of her head with a weird look on her face. What's wrong with the window? Xiaoxiao raised her head, confused, but what she saw gave her a big fright. There was a person lying on the ground outside the window. But there was a security net outside the window, so people couldn't stick their heads in from the outside. Xia Yufeng. Xiaoxiao recognized the person on the window. It was the new transfer student from yesterday. She couldn't help but get a little annoyed. This guy looks like a dog, but why is he so perverted? Peeking at girls' training? Yeah, but we found him. Yushu's face lit up with excitement. Xiaoxiao nodded, understanding Yushu's gaze. The two didn't need to talk much, and they were already making their way to the gym's warehouse. The gym teacher didn't lock the door when he opened the warehouse to take out the medicine balls and other training equipment, since they still had to put them back after class. There was no way the teacher would think that someone would go into the warehouse during class. Yushu and Xiaoxiao went into the storehouse to look for tools to mess with people. The gymnasium storehouse was really big, and there were a lot of things. Other than sports training equipment, there were also sports clothes and school security uniforms. Haha. Yushu pulled out a couple of ice skates and nail shoes from a rack, smiling. Xiaoxiao looked at the weapons in Yushu's hands, her lips curling up slightly. You want them to fall and sit on it? Yeah, but how do we make them fall down? Yushu nodded, troubled as well. Xiaoxiao's eyes scanned the warehouse before landing on something. She quickly ran over and picked it up, waving her hand happily. Leave this to me, I'll let them have a taste of the stun baton. There was a stun baton in Xiaoxiao's hands. These were used by the school security guards when they patrolled the school at night. Naturally, there were extra ones, just like the security guards' uniforms, which were kept in the warehouse. Then we'll split up. Yushu felt that this Xiaoxiao was a match made in the first place. Yufeng and the others were dead for sure. No problem. Xiaoxiao raised her right hand. Yushu raised her hand and high-fived Xiaoxiao. Let's celebrate a big victory. After I set up the trap, I'll meow like a cat under the adjacent window. Then you'll shock them down. With that, Yushu ran out of the gymnasium with a bunch of nail shoes and ice skates. Xiaoxiao, on the other hand, took the electric baton and went to the window next to Yufeng's. This was a blind spot, and if Yufeng didn't intentionally look down, he wouldn't be able to see the people on the seats. Xiaoxiao, on the other hand, was sitting next to the window, and it was even harder to see. Yufeng, Penghu, and Songming all climbed up the wire mesh on top of the window. The mesh was a bit high, but with the help of Yufeng's qi, Penghu and Songming were easily pulled up. Did you find her? How come I don't see Xiaoxiao? Yufeng looked outside the window for a long time, but he didn't see Xiaoxiao anywhere. He mumbled to himself, this girl isn't skipping class, is she? Yeah, I don't see her either, but I see Meng Yao. She's wearing shorts, and she didn't take off her shirt, so there's nothing to see. Songming said regretfully. I don't see that big tits Yushu either. Penghu said pervertedly. Every time I think of her breasts, I can't sleep. Yushu had just walked under the tree when she heard Penghu talking bad about her. She was pissed. Her breasts were for shield bro, and he dared to fantasize about her? Humph. I'll leave this ice skate to you. You better sit on your balls. Yushu lined up the ice skate and nail shoes in the path of the three's fall, and she snuck under the wall next to the window. This way, the three wouldn't be able to see her from their angle. After doing all this, Yushu pinched her nose and meowed like a cat. Meow. The cat's meow gave the three of them a scare. Yufeng was a mystic, but in order to hide his identity, he didn't dare use his qi casually. He only used a bit of qi when he went up the wire, and the rest was suppressed inside his body. Who knew when Lin Yi would show up? He saw Lin Yi come out of the class. What if Lin Yi came here? So naturally, he didn't notice Yushu coming over. What's that sound? Yufeng frowned. Sounds like a cat, it's fine. Songming shook his head. Yeah, it's a cat, and it's a female cat in heat. Penghu added. Oh. Yufeng nodded and continued peeping. Yushu was pissed. Your mother is the female cat in heat. You'll get it later. In the gymnasium, Xiao heard Yushu's signal and quickly climbed up the back of the seat to the edge of the window. Since there were seats to support her feet, and the inside of the gymnasium was higher than the outside, it was easy for her to climb up to the window. Hee hee. Xiao grinned and turned on the electric baton, stabbing it into the barbed wire. The wires outside the window were all interconnected, and so when Xiao touched them with the baton, Yu Feng, Ming, and Peng Hu cried out in pain, shivering as they fell off the wire. But the moment he landed, he saw the spiked shoes and ice skates, and he jumped in fright. If he sat on them, he'd get an anal fistula. Yu Feng jumped in fright. He subconsciously wanted to use his qi to protect himself and jump away. That would push Ming and Peng Hu away. Isn't this Yu Feng? Are you a trapeze artist? Chapter 1029. Tragedy struck again. Lin Yi and Kong Xiaobo finished their conversation and walked around the field. He suddenly remembered the tree he planted a while ago, wondering how it was doing. He decided to go to the back hill with Kong Xiaobo when he saw Yushu setting up a trap. But Lin Yi didn't say anything. He wanted to see how Yu Feng would take the bait after Yushu was done. Logically speaking, with Xie Yu Feng's skills, even if he saw the spiked shoes and ice skates, he would be able to jump away. It wouldn't pose any threat to him. The next moment, Lin Yi saw Yushu hiding in a corner and meowing like a cat. Not long after, Yu Feng and the other two cried out as if they were hit by something and fell from the wire. Lin Yi took a closer look and saw Xiao on the other side of the window, covering her mouth as she giggled. Lin Yi suddenly felt a chill. These two girls were too bad. This Xie Yufeng was really unlucky to have met these two. However, Lin Yi noticed that Xie Yufeng was using qi to protect himself, so Lin Yi came out. He knew that Yufeng was purposely hiding his true strength in front of him, but he didn't mind letting Yufeng have a taste of his own medicine. As expected, the moment Lin Yi opened his mouth, Yufeng dispersed his qi. Yufeng subconsciously dispersed his qi, but after doing so, he suddenly remembered that he had spikes and ice skates on his butt. This was not a joke. If he were to be pricked, would it be any better? Even if his strength was discovered by Lin Yi, he couldn't just watch as he sat on a nail shoe. That was undoubtedly equivalent to courting death. But by the time he realized this, it was already too late. By the time he wanted to circulate his true qi again, it was already too late. He directly sat down on the nail shoe and let out another miserable howl. Peng Hu and Ming weren't any better. Peng Hu was fatter, and when he sat on the ice skate cut right between his buttocks, and directly cut his balls. His eyes rolled back in pain, and his body twitched as he fainted. Although Wang Ming's eggs weren't cut, his buttocks were cut into 4 pieces. He was in excruciating pain. Yufeng realized tragically that his anus was prolapsed. Oh. Yushu clapped happily, not expecting Lin Yi to show up. She ran to Lin Yi with a smile. "Shield bro, you're here. They're performing SM." Yufeng heard Yushu's words and almost fainted as well. Performing SM? What kind of performance was that? Was there something wrong with his brain? But he knew that what he was doing couldn't be seen in the light of day. If someone found out that he was peeping, then his reputation in school would be ruined, and he wouldn't be able to chase girls anymore. With that thought, Yufeng gritted his teeth and stood up, enduring the pain. He was truly a cultivator, and his endurance was pretty strong. Kicking the unconscious Peng Hu, he pulled the howling Wang Ming and cursed, "Get up and go to the hospital if you don't want to die." Peng Hu's balls were cut, but Yufeng's kick woke him up. And so, he got up from the ground and ran to the hospital with Yufeng and Ming. Xiao, on the other hand, saw Lin Yi from the window. She put the electric baton back into the storage and ran out of the gym as well. This scene was not discovered by the teachers and students who were training over there. After all, they were training in full swing over there, and they were all shouting slogans. Compared to them, the movements here were much quieter. "Lin Yi, why are you here?" Xiao saw Yushu and Lin Yi talking, not wanting to be outdone. "You too." Lin Yi smiled bitterly. "Aren't you a little too much?" "Oh, shield bro, who do you think is more violent?" Yushu asked. With that, she looked at Lin Yi expectantly, and so did Xiao. She and Yushu were tied before, so Lin Yi's evaluation was quite important. Of course, even if it wasn't a tie before, Lin Yi's evaluation was still very important, because they wanted Lin Yi's approval the most. I think you two need to be together to bring out your full potential. Lin Yi said. Oh, I see. Yushu frowned after hearing Lin Yi's words. She thought about it and forced herself to say to Xiao, since Shield Bro likes our combo, I'll force myself to team up with you once in a while. Humph. Force yourself? Xiao curled her lips in disdain. I'm the one who's taking care of Lin Yi's face by teaming up with you. But if you provoke me again, I'll break up with you and go solo. I can't provoke you, but you can't provoke me first either. Yushu said after some thought. How about this, whoever provokes me first gives up? You're just a small wife. Why would I care if you don't provoke me first? I'm a small wife. It's not like you'll affect me. Xiao said. That's true. Yushu nodded. No matter how you fight, you're still the small wife. Let Yao go fight for the big wife. Lin Yi smiled faintly, knowing that Yushu was trying to be nice. If Yushu hadn't lowered her head first, Xiao wouldn't have lowered her head so easily. But the result was good. The two weren't enemies anymore. They might not be that close right away, but they'd get along better after some time. After all, these two had something in common. They could work together to mess with each other. All right, class isn't over yet. Hurry up and bring the spiked shoes back to the gymnasium. Don't let anyone find out. Lin Yi pointed at the bloodied shoes and ice skates on the ground. Oh, okay. Yushu picked up the shoe, and Xiao reached out to help as well, and the two of them carried the things back silently. Kong Xiaobo, on the other hand, didn't say anything. He knew he couldn't say anything right now, so he just watched quietly until Xiao and Yushu left. He sighed. That Xie Yufeng sure is unlucky, getting his ass kicked. Thank goodness you were able to tame these two devils, boss. Otherwise, how are we supposed to live in the future? Lin Yi smiled. It was true, Yushu and Xiao were devils in front of outsiders, but they were very gentle to him. Chapter 10:30. Chapter 10:28. Xiao's wish camcorder? Kong Xiaobo picked it up and looked at it. It was a small video recorder. They're not trying to take pictures, are they? Lin Yi shrugged. Let's see if there's a video and delete it. Kong Xiaobo pulled up the video and saw that it was indeed from the gymnasium. A group of girls were training, and some of the girls were wearing very little. But Meng Yao and Yushu weren't there. Kong Xiaobo took a quick look and deleted the video. He was a pervert, but he wouldn't look at immoral things like this. Boss, what do we do with this camcorder? Kong Xiaobo asked. You take it back and play with it. You don't want to give it back to Yu Feng, do you? Lin Yi didn't even think about giving it back. Oh, that's fine. I'll give it to Fun to play with. Kong Xiaobo put the camcorder away happily. After this incident, Lin Yi didn't want to stay in the school anymore. He turned to Kong Xiaobo. Let's go back to class. Kong Xiaobo wanted to go back and study the camcorder as well so that he could take a selfie with Fun. He didn't have anything with Fun yet, but it was a good idea. Lin Yi and Kong Xiaobo went back to the classroom, but Yu Feng and the other two weren't back yet. Their seats were empty, evidently at the hospital. But Lin Yi couldn't be bothered with them. Since they wanted to hide their strength, then go hide it. Yushu and Xiao would mess with them every day until they died. Let's see how long they could take it. Xiaobo went off to figure out how to operate the camcorder, while Lin Yi went back to the game he was playing earlier. After playing for a while, Lin Yi felt bored and exited the game to see if there was anything else on his phone. Lin Yi was just casually looking through the phone, but he accidentally entered a notepad software. There was a file called My Wish. Originally, when Lin Yi saw that it was a private folder, he was ready to push it out immediately after entering. However, when he saw the file called My Wish, Lin Yi hesitated. Lin Yi was very clear about Xiao's situation. She only had 1 year left at most, and that was the most optimistic scenario. To put it in a sad way, Xiao might die tomorrow. And so, Lin Yi cared a lot about Xiao's dying wish. If it was possible, Lin Yi wanted to make it come true for Xiao. This would allow Xiao to live a life without regrets. But just when Lin Yi was about to look at the file named My Wish, the bell rang at an untimely time. Lin Yi frowned. There was some distance between the gym and the school building, but Xiao would be back in a few minutes. With that thought, Lin Yi didn't hesitate any longer. He opened the file called My Wish and looked at the contents. After opening it, Lin Yi realized that this My Wish document wasn't completed in one day. It was divided into many pages. Each page only had one wish and the date of the wish. If the wish was fulfilled, Xiaoxiao would mark it as fulfilled on the index page. If it wasn't fulfilled, there was no mark. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. If it was all written on one page, Lin Yi might be able to finish it in a few minutes, but if he had to go through it page by page, he might not be able to finish it today. But there was physical education every week, and Lin Yi wasn't in a rush to finish it all in one day. He'd read as much as he could today, and pick the easier ones to help Xiaoxiao first. Lin Yi opened the link with the earliest date on the index page and started reading. Can my illness really be cured? I'm going to Yanjing's hospital with Dad tomorrow. I heard it's a hospital that specializes in hereditary diseases. I'm so nervous. I hope this hospital can cure me. Looking at Xiaoxiao's wish, Lin Yi was a little speechless. If her illness could be cured, why would Lin Yi go through all that trouble to fulfill her wish? This Xiaoxiao's wish was really... But looking at the date, Lin Yi shook his head and smiled bitterly. This wish was written 3 years ago, and Xiaoxiao was probably still fantasizing about her illness at that time. But was this phone Xiaoxiao was using 3 years ago? But thinking about it, Xiaoxiao must have imported it after she changed her phone. Lin Yi closed this wish and looked at the second day's wish. Compared to the first wish, the second one was more normal. I want a sports car. This was a wish he'd written 3 years ago as well, but there was a note at the end that said it had been fulfilled. He didn't have time to look at the ones he'd already fulfilled, so he quickly exited and started looking for the ones that hadn't been fulfilled yet. But in this document, most of the wishes were fulfilled. Lin Yi finally found one that wasn't marked fulfilled, and opened it. I really want a best friend. I can talk to her about the loneliness in my heart. I can share my happiness and sadness with her on the same bed. But I'm destined to never have a true friend. I don't want my best friend to feel pain because of my death. Looking at Xiaoxiao's wish, Lin Yi couldn't help but take in a deep breath. His heart was heavy. From the tone of this wish, Xiaoxiao must have known that her illness was incurable. That was why she was feeling this way. Perhaps she had lost all hope of curing her illness. She had a friend, a bosom friend. In the eyes of a normal girl, this seemed like a simple thing. Who didn't have a few true friends growing up? Which girl hadn't slept on the same bed with their best friend? But this simple thing was a dream in Xiaoxiao's eyes. And her kindness, not wanting her death to bring pain to her friends, touched Lin Yi deeply. But this wish wasn't something Lin Yi could fulfill. He couldn't be a best friend. He couldn't just castrate himself, could he? But he could suggest Tang Yun and Shu to be Xiaoxiao's best friends. It wasn't a bad choice. Lin Yi quickly took a picture of the wish with his phone, not daring to waste any more time as he opened the other wish that wasn't marked already fulfilled, and started reading it. Chapter 1031. Chapter 1029. A shocking wish. This was a wish that Lin Yi could consider helping Xiaoxiao. It wasn't too much to ask, and Lin Yi could do it too. It was only now that Lin Yi understood that Xiaoxiao wasn't a rebellious girl who liked racing. She had the dream of being a racer. Yes, everyone had a dream when they were young. But as they grew older, these dreams would slowly fade away. What was his dream back then? A farmer? A spring? A little field? Yes, Lin Yi's dream was very simple. When he was with his old man, Lin Yi didn't think that he would become an assassin in the future, nor did he think about what kind of life he would have in the future. He thought that he would be the same as the other kids from the countryside, like Gooden, farming with him to support the family. But after Lin Yi grew up, he started doing all sorts of simple and complicated missions. Lin Yi didn't know what his dream was anymore. These days of wandering were his life, and when he was free, he would chat with Gooden in his old home. It was the most relaxing time of his life. As time went on, he grew up, and so did Gooden. His fate changed with his old man, and he was destined to never be a farmer, and Gooden's fate changed because of him as well. He was destined to never be a normal farmer. He had to be a farmer in his old home. Thinking of Gooden, Lin Yi started to miss him. He hadn't seen him in a while, and he wondered if he was done with the spring plowing. He should be done, right? He needed to find some time to call him and ask him to come to Songshan. And so, other than his childhood, Lin Yi's life right now was the most relaxing he'd ever had. He had food, he had beauties, and while it was dangerous, Lin Yi enjoyed it. But even so, Lin Yi still felt that his life was better than Xiaoxiao's. His life was uncertain, but he had a friend, Gooden. Gooden was a bit rash and reckless, but Lin Yi liked him. At the very least, he was a straightforward person. Whatever Lin Yi said to him, he would only chuckle and would never spread it out. So Lin Yi didn't hide anything from Gooden, and Gooden was a loyal listener. Shaking his head, Lin Yi suddenly remembered that he didn't have much time left. Class had ended, and he was looking at Xiaoxiao's wish when he got distracted. Lin Yi didn't dare waste any time. He quickly took a photo of Xiaoxiao's wish and closed it to read the next one. I also want to be in a relationship and have a boyfriend who cares for me. I'm so envious of other people under the moonlight. But I can't hurt others. If I die, my lover will be sad. However, this wish was divided into two. The first was written 2 years ago, and below this wish, there was another annotation. But the date was the most recent. I've decided, I want to be in a relationship with Lin Yi, who told him to pee on me and set off firecrackers on my butt. I want revenge. I want him to fall in love with me, and then I'll die in front of him. Xiao, you have to work hard. Lin Yi sweated as he looked at the message. No way. He'd felt that something was wrong with Xiao before, going from hostility to liking him. Wasn't that a little too fast? He looked at the date. It was the day Xiao changed her attitude towards him. But there was another annotation below this one, and Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. Is this what love feels like? It's so nice. I hope I can live forever. This comment was dated last night, and looking at it, Lin Yi's heart was heavy. The meaning of this comment was clear, and that was that Xiaoxiao's revenge mentality had changed. She wanted to live forever. What revenge was there to talk about? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. It seemed that Xiao had made it real. But this was a wish that was being fulfilled, and it was almost done. Lin Yi didn't need to worry about it anymore. No matter what Xiaoxiao's motive for liking him was, Lin Yi could understand and tolerate it. Thinking about Xiaoxiao's background and personality, Lin Yi didn't blame her for going too far back then. Think about it, if it were Yushu, she'd go crazy even if someone peed on her head, let alone set off firecrackers on her butt, wouldn't she? Xiao, on the other hand, used a self-destructive strategy to get into a relationship with Lin Yi, wanting Lin Yi to lose her after falling in love with her. This wasn't revenge at all, but an indulgence for the last moments of her life. Lin Yi closed this wish and went on to the next one. I saw a TV show today. The main male and female characters were watching the sunrise together, cooking breakfast with seawater. It's so romantic. I want to eat poached eggs. Lin Yi looked at Xiaoxiao's weird wish and couldn't help but find it funny. Poached eggs? Eating poached eggs while watching the sunrise? Why didn't it match? But since it was Xiaoxiao's wish, Lin Yi still took a picture with his phone. After all, this wish was easier to fulfill. There wasn't much time left, and Lin Yi closed this wish and quickly read the next one. Su Shihan is so pretty. If only I were a guy, I'd be able to push her down. Lin Yi opened Xiaoxiao's wish and was exhausted. Lin Yi didn't seem to be able to fulfill this wish. He couldn't just give her a sex change operation, could he? But that was only the first half of the sentence. There was more, and Lin Yi kept reading. I've decided, I'll give this difficult mission to my boyfriend, let him push her down, and then we'll do 3P. Ha! Xiao, you're a super genius. But it seems like a daydream? Lin Yi almost threw Xiaoxiao's phone away after reading the last half. Wasn't this too cruel? Lin Yi was getting more and more convinced that if Xiao hadn't died, she would have been able to play with Yushu for sure. From a certain perspective, the two had a lot in common, and their way of thinking was equally shocking. Chapter 1032. Wish fulfilled. After reading this wish, Lin Yi closed it and was about to read the other wishes when Lin Yi saw that the girls in his class were starting to enter the classroom. That Feng Xiao should be one step ahead and one step behind. Lin Yi quickly exited his phone and opened up the game. Xiao and Yushu walked into the classroom together, and the two were talking and joking, as if the conflict from before had disappeared. But it was obvious that the two weren't that close yet. It was impossible for them to become close in one day. Xiao walked over to Lin Yi and sat down. She saw Lin Yi playing with her phone, so she asked curiously, "What are you doing?" "Playing a game." Lin Yi acted like he just saw Xiao and put the phone on the table. "You're back." "Yeah, I'm back." Xiao picked up the phone and looked at the game on the screen. "Do you still want to play?" "No," Lin Yi shook his head. "This phone isn't bad, I'll go buy one in a couple of days." "Then you buy mine too. We'll be a couple's phone." Xiao closed the game on her phone and put it in her pocket, not even thinking that Lin Yi had already seen the wish in it. Yeah. Lin Yi answered casually. Lin Yi's quick answer stunned Xiao. She didn't think that Lin Yi would agree to her suggestion so easily. If it were before, Lin Yi would have rejected her right away, right? Then we'll go buy one after school? Xiao asked excitedly. We'll see, Lin Yi shook his head. The phone shops are all closed after school, let's wait until the weekend. Sure. Xiao heard the first half of the sentence and thought that he was just brushing her off again, but the second half told her that it wasn't the case. She was happy once more. Xiao, why do you always want to learn how to race with me? Lin Yi brought the topic to Xiao's wish. Lin Yi used to think that Xiao was just messing around, ignoring the fact that it was her dream to be a racer. Because I'm interested in cars. After watching Fast and Furious, I wanted to be a racer. Xiao didn't hide it and smiled. But I know that's impossible. My skills are just as-oh, who would let me race? Oh, I see. Lin Yi nodded. I thought you were just messing around. If you really want to be a racer, I can teach you. Really? Xiao's eyes went wide. Happiness came too abruptly, and she wasn't prepared for it. Good things kept happening these 2 days, and Xiao didn't know how to react. She felt like she was dreaming. It was too surreal. Of course it's true. I never lied to you when I promised you something. Lin Yi smiled. Ugh. Xiao was so excited she couldn't speak, but after the excitement passed, she sighed. Man, forget it, I don't think I'll learn it. You can't learn how to drive in a short time. You need constant training. I don't have that much patience. Xiao said that, but it was just an excuse. What she was really worried about was that she didn't know how much longer she could live. She only had a few months left in her life, and even if she went to learn how to drive, she wouldn't be able to do much. She might as well use this time to do something else. But Lin Yi understood the meaning behind Xiao's excuse. Xiao said she didn't have that much patience, but she didn't have that much time left. Lin Yi sighed in his heart, but didn't show anything on his face. Songshan should have those underground racetracks too, right? Have you been there? Of course I have. Xiao perked up at the mention of racing, as if she'd forgotten her sadness. It's on Mount Belong's Coiling Mountain Road. It's an underground racetrack, and there's a race every Friday night. People who love racing go there to practice too. Oh? Have you participated in a race before? Lin Yi asked with a smile. My skills aren't good. I can only practice. I won't be able to do it in a real race. Xiao shook her head. At most you'll lose. What else? Lin Yi found it strange. At least you'll be able to participate in a race. It's an experience. It's not that simple. The loser has to pay the price. Xiao shook her head. The loser has to give the winner 200,000. Where would I get that much money? I'd be better off selling myself. Lin Yi clicked his tongue inwardly. As expected, there was some profit involved in this. There wouldn't be a race for no reason. 200,000 wasn't much to Lin Yi, but it was a lot to Xiao. If she had the money, she wouldn't have just bought an Audi TT. She'd have bought an Audi R8 or something. Then does it mean I get 200,000 if I win? Lin Yi asked. No, the winner only gets 150,000, and the other 50,000 goes to the organizer. Xiao said. This organization is quite profitable. Lin Yi said faintly, but this didn't have much to do with Lin Yi, so Lin Yi couldn't be bothered. Lingshan didn't even care. So why would Lin Yi care about some underground racetrack organizer? Yeah, there's at least 10 races a week. That's 500,000. You can even buy a car. Xiao said enviously. But winning 150 isn't bad either. We'll go racing on Friday and get a phone, Lin Yi smiled. What do you think? You want to go racing with me? Xiao's eyes went wide. Yeah, you don't want to go? Lin Yi asked. Yes. Xiao nodded, afraid that Lin Yi would change his mind. Really? That's great. Ha. I can go racing too. You want to drive? Lin Yi was speechless at Xiao's happy face. Lin Yi was the one driving in the racetrack, and Xiao would lose for sure. Yeah, I lose the moment I start. Xiao was a little depressed. Lin Yi looked at Xiaoxiao's face and made a decision in his heart. It was a risky decision, but it wasn't much to Lin Yi. It was something he could control. Chapter 1033. Who was Air Gooden? Looking at her beloved sports car, Xiaoxiao felt the urge to smash it. Sports car, it's not that I don't like you. It's just that I seem to like Lin Yi more. Xiaoxiao grumbled as she got in the car and started the engine, but it wasn't easy to reverse the car. The area was filled with vendors selling snacks, and there were people coming and going after school. In the past, Xiaoxiao didn't even need to reverse her car, she could just turn around and leave. But today there was a Lamborghini next to her car, so she had no choice but to reverse. Lin Yi frowned when he saw this. This Xie Yufeng was going to the doctor, but he didn't drive the car away. In truth, it wasn't that Yufeng didn't want to drive it away, it was because he couldn't. His butt was cut, and it would hurt even if he sat down, let alone drive. Yufeng, Songming, and Peng Hu called an ambulance right away, not even thinking about driving. I can't get it out. Lin Yi, help me get the car out. Xiaoxiao wanted to say that she wouldn't drive home, but she couldn't bring herself to say it. Whose car is this? Why isn't it driving away? Tang Yun looked at the Lamborghini curiously as well. She didn't know what kind of car it was, but it shouldn't be cheap. Who would park their car here for so long and not drive away? That's Xie Yufeng from yesterday. Lin Yi said. But the kid is unlucky today. Xiaoxiao and Shu messed with him. He probably can't drive anymore. He's in the hospital getting some medicine. What's going on? Tang Yun was curious and confused. Haha, Xiaoxiao, tell Yun Yun what happened. I'll help you get the car out. Lin Yi said. All right. Xiaoxiao was more than happy to share this with Tang Yun too. She happily pulled Tang Yun's hand to talk. Compared to Yushu, Xiaoxiao's relationship with Tang Yun was a lot closer. The two had lunch together, and they were even more in sync now. In fact, this was because Xiaoxiao was trying to get to know Tang Yun, and Tang Yun was doing it on purpose. That was why their relationship improved so much. Lin Yi walked over, but he didn't get in Xiaoxiao's car. Instead, he went to Yufeng's Lamborghini and raised his leg to kick it. Bang! A loud bang sounded, and the Lamborghini was kicked sideways by Lin Yi, but Lin Yi didn't stop there. He kicked it again, and the car moved sideways again. Lin Yi frowned and kept kicking, and soon, the brand new Lamborghini was full of dents from Lin Yi's kicks, and the alarm went off. But the people on the food street all knew Lin Yi, and they knew how domineering Lin Yi was. No one tried to stop him, and some were even gloating. This stupid car owner was blocking Lin Yi's way. In the blink of an eye, the Lamborghini was kicked to the bottom of the wall by Lin Yi, and the driver's door was stuck to the wall as well. If he didn't climb over from the passenger seat, he wouldn't even be able to drive the car away. Xiaoxiao and Tang Yun were stunned as they looked at Lin Yi. But Lin Yi had done too many ruthless things. Lin Yi had torn down Zhao Qibing's skyscraper twice, let alone a car. Tang Yun was already used to it, but Xiaoxiao couldn't close her mouth. Damn! That's so cool! Xiaoxiao didn't expect Lin Yi to be this strong, sending the Lamborghini to the wall with just a few kicks. Yufeng would probably be crying tomorrow morning when he saw his new car in the corner of the wall, riddled with scars, wouldn't he? It's done. Lin Yi walked back casually, as if he wasn't the one who kicked the car. He walked to Tang Yun and Xiaoxiao. Let's go. Xiaoxiao told Tang Yun about Yufeng's tragic experience, and Tang Yun started to sympathize with the guy. He was beaten up by gangsters yesterday, and today he was sitting on a nail shoe. Not only that, but his new car was destroyed by Lin Yi. Why was this guy so unlucky? Did he have to go to the West to seek scriptures and come here to suffer? Xiaoxiao didn't want to leave, but she didn't want to make it too obvious. Since Lin Yi had cleared the obstacles around her car, she could drive it out smoothly. The Volkswagen Beetle and Audi TT left the food street behind the school. Lin Yi sent Tang Yun to the hospital and parted ways with Xiaoxiao at the intersection ahead. How's the renovations going? When can we move in? Lin Yi asked as he drove. Mom went to check yesterday, and she said it's almost done. We're just missing the furniture and appliances. We'll be able to move in after a couple of days. Tang Yun said. The new house smells. Fatty Lai used environmentally friendly materials, but it's impossible for there to be no harmful gases. You should get Auntie to buy some charcoal and sprinkle it around. Don't worry about money. Lin Yi nodded.
Yeah, I know.
Tang Yun obviously knew what kind of person her mother was. She couldn't help but laugh at Lin Yi's words. I really need to talk to her about it. Tell her not to be greedy. Just say that the smell of the renovations affects fertility. If you can't have a baby after smelling it, I won't want you anymore. Lin Yi said to Tang Yun. Ha! Tang Yun blinked and blushed. What kind of lousy reason is that?
Lousy reason, but it'll definitely work.
Lin Yi smiled. Tang Yun nodded. She had to admit that Lin Yi's method was effective. This was related to her health and the future baby's health. No matter how stingy a mother was, she couldn't risk her own life. Then, if I really can't have a baby, will you still want me? Tang Yun suddenly thought of something. What if there really was something wrong with her body? She had never had a baby before. Who knew if she could have a baby? Ha! I can cure it.
Lin Yi smiled.
Tang Yun was a little disappointed. She actually wanted to hear him say that he wanted it, not that he could cure it. The results were the same, but Tang Yun was a girl after all, and sometimes she liked to hear romantic words. Lin Yi drove Tang Yun back to the hospital and drove home. He called Widow Wang's grocery store in the village. However, the phone rang a few times and no one picked up. Just as Lin Yi was about to hang up, someone picked up. It wasn't Widow Wang's voice. It was a man's voice. Hello? West Star Mountain Village. Which one are you looking for? Hello, can you help me find Air Gooden? Lin Yi didn't know who this person was. He said politely, Air Gooden? Who is it? The person froze. Chapter 1034. Hercules Air Gooden, ugh. Lin Yi paused, but he remembered that Air Gooden was just a nickname. Air Gooden's real name wasn't Air Gooden, so people who weren't familiar with him wouldn't know. But everyone in Star West Village should know this name. But Lin Yi still said, it's Zhou Jiaming. Zhou Jiaming was Air Gooden's real name. Of course, in the village, people called people by their nicknames. Very few people called people by their real names. This was different from the city. Zhou Jiaming?
The man on the other side of the line paused, but he still said, wait, I'll ask for you.
Auntie, someone's looking for Zhou Jiaming. Do you know him? I know. Okay, go set up the goods. I'll take the call. Widow Wang's voice came from the other side of the phone. After a while, Widow Wang picked up the phone. You're looking for Air Gooden?
Auntie Wang, it's me, Lily. Lin Yi smiled. Who was that?
It's my relative's child, from another village. He came here to help me with the work. Isn't the spring plowing over? When the villagers are free, they often come here to drink. I can't do it alone. Widow Wang said. I see, no wonder he doesn't know Air Gooden. Lin Yi understood. In Star West Village, there were a lot of people who didn't know Lin Yi, but there were very few who didn't know Air Gooden. Haha, wait here, I'll get Air Gooden to answer the phone for you. Widow Wang put the phone aside and went to the village's megaphone to shout. Air Gooden, Air Gooden, Air Gooden, I'm your Auntie Wang. There's a call for you. Widow Wang's voice came from the loudspeaker, shocking Lin Yi on the other side of the phone. Gooden was hunting in the mountains. He just finished dinner and went to the mountains to stretch his body. He didn't expect to hear the village's loudspeaker calling for him. Gooden guessed that the call was from his boss, Lin Yi. He didn't waste time, picking up the dead boar and running down the mountain. This wild boar was at least 300 to 400 kilograms, but Gooden didn't seem to be using any strength at all. He was running like he was flying, as if he was carrying no weight at all. At the foot of the mountain was West Star Village. Almost all the villagers were outside, playing cards and chess. They didn't seem surprised at all when they saw Gooden running down the mountain with a bear on his shoulder. Air Gooden, you went hunting again? This wild boar can be sold for a good price, right? An old man said enviously. Heh, it's all right, Gooden smiled honestly. Air Gooden, when are you going to get the robes you promised Master Wang? A village woman asked. Her husband sold wild animals, and he often caught wild chickens and robes to sell in the market. He used to catch them with traps, but Gooden patted his chest and bought them, saying that he'd help whenever he needed the robes. Auntie Chong, I'm in a hurry to answer the phone today. I'll get the robes for you tomorrow. Gooden nodded. This Gooden was a legend in the village. When he was 8, He went hunting alone in the mountains. The first day he came back, the villagers saw a black bear coming down the mountain and walking into the village, scaring them to death. They shouted, "The bear is in the village!" And all went back to their homes. But when the black bear walked into the village, everyone realized that under the bear's huge body, there was a small, skinny figure. It was Gooden, who came back from hunting. But compared to the black bear's body, Gooden's body was insignificant. They were far away, and it was dark, so the villagers couldn't see Gooden clearly. It was only when they got closer that they realized that the black bear had been killed by Gooden. This shocked the villagers, and they couldn't help but praise Gooden's godly strength. But everything had a freshness, and once the freshness wore off, they wouldn't be surprised anymore. It was the same with Gooden. From then on, he killed wild wolves, wild boars, vultures, and other wild beasts. Everyone was used to it now. Gooden threw the wild boar on the ground. Everyone split it. "If we can't finish it, we'll give the rest to my dad to sell." Gooden was a simple and honest man. He wouldn't keep things to himself. Every time he went hunting, he would think of the villagers and give them something for free. So, everyone had a good impression of him. In fact, everyone was drooling over the wild boar meat. Normal people couldn't kill a wild boar. There was a saying, 1 boar, 2 bears, 3 tigers. It meant that the wild boar was stronger than a bear or a tiger. Only Gooden could kill a wild boar so easily. If it was someone else, they might have been killed by the boar. After saying that, he quickly ran to Widow Wang's house, and the rest of the villagers happily helped him clean up the wild boar. Of course, they weren't greedy people. They would get some of the meat, but it was the parts that weren't easy to sell. The parts that were easy to sell, like the pork knuckle, they would leave them for Gooden. Gooden excitedly ran into the shop and picked up the phone. "Hello? Gooden, it's me, Lin Yi." Lin Yi heard Gooden's voice and smiled. "Lin Yi bro, I knew it was you. Are you in a hurry? I'll leave in 2 days." Gooden said embarrassedly, "It's still far from the autumn harvest, and the family doesn't have much income. I'm thinking of hunting some wild animals for my dad to sell before I leave, otherwise the family won't have any income. Didn't I tell you to get it for my old man?" Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "You can pay for the road. I'm thinking I'll earn the money for the house. I have hands and feet. Hunting isn't a problem." Gooden said with an honest smile. "All right, come back as soon as you're done. I really miss you." Lin Yi sighed. "I really want you to stay in Songshan forever. I want to follow you, boss, to explore the world. But I can't." Gooden frowned and said helplessly, "I can't leave home for too long." "That's right. Apart from that spiritual spring, there's really no other alternative solution." Lin Yi sighed, "But it's fine, you just have to come out once in a while." Chapter 1035. Chapter 1033. Being Xiaoxiao's best friend. "All right, write down my phone number and address. Contact me when you get to Songshan. I'll pick you up," Lin Yi said as he gave Gooden his phone number and address. Gooden found a piece of paper and wrote it down before putting it in his pocket. After the call with Gooden, Lin Yi got home. The Miss and Shu were still watching TV on the sofa. "Shield bro, I did well today, didn't I?" Yushu said excitedly when she saw Lin Yi. "Xiao and I became best friends." "Yeah, but we need to keep working hard and try to improve." Lin Yi nodded. "Improve?" Yushu asked. "Yeah, it'd be best if we could become best friends, just like you and Yao Yao," Lin Yi said. "Best friend? That's not possible, right? She's my love rival." Yushu scratched her head, troubled. Lin Yi didn't say anything. He took out his phone and opened the photo album, showing Xiaoxiao's wishes to Yushu. "Xiaoxiao has a few wishes, and she doesn't have much time left, so I want to help her fulfill them one by one." "Oh." Yushu paused and took the phone. She read the words on the photo. "I really want to have a best friend. I can talk to her about the loneliness in my heart. I can share happiness and sadness with her on the same bed. But I'm destined to never have a true friend. I don't want my best friend to feel pain because of my death." Meng Yao came over curiously as well, frowning as she looked at the photo on Lin Yi's phone. "Lin Yi, where did you see this?" "From Xiaoxiao's phone." Lin Yi didn't hide it. "There's a file called My Wish. I just opened it, I didn't think." "I see." Meng Yao nodded. Xiaoxiao's wish moved Meng Yao. Having a best friend was a normal thing, but in Xiaoxiao's eyes, it was an extravagant wish. especially Xiaoxiao's reason. It made Meng Yao feel even more bitter. What a great spirit it is to not let a good friend be sad. Shu, we want to be Xiaoxiao's best friends. Meng Yao raised her fist and said word by word. Oh, okay. Yushu nodded after seeing that Meng Yao had agreed. To tell the truth, most of what she did today was to coax Xiaoxiao, but being a BFF wasn't as simple as that. If she didn't open her heart to Xiaoxiao, then she wouldn't be a BFF at all. Xiaoxiao only wanted to be Lin Yi's small wife, and she wasn't a threat to her position at all. Plus, she was about to die, so Yushu didn't think much of it. The two came to an agreement, and the matter was settled for now. But Yushu suddenly realized that the picture wasn't the last one, so she kept scrolling. Lin Yi wanted to stop her, but it was too late. Yushu's hands were faster, and she was already scrolling. If Lin Yi were to take the phone back now, it would mean that something was wrong. Lin Yi couldn't help but regret taking a picture of that threesome wish. Yushu and Meng Yao read Xiaoxiao's other wishes, but they weren't really interested in things like racing or watching the sunrise. It had nothing to do with them, but when they saw Xiaoxiao's threesome, their eyes went wide, their mouths wide open. I've decided, I'll give this difficult mission to my boyfriend, let him push her down, and then we'll have threesome. Ha! Xiaoxiao, you're a super genius. But it seems like a daydream? Yushu and Meng Yao couldn't help but look at each other after reading the content on the phone. After a long while, Yushu sighed. Holy shit, this Xiaoxiao is even stronger than me? She wants to do threesome with a superstar? I just want to do it with Yao Yao. Shu, what the hell are you talking about? Meng Yao glared at Yushu, suddenly feeling a sense of regret. One Shu was enough to give her a headache, and she actually agreed to be Xiaoxiao's best friend? Xiaoxiao was someone similar to Shu, and if she were to become her best friend, wouldn't she be breaking down all day long? After the two of them got together, wouldn't the already shocking idea become even more shocking? This Xiaoxiao wanted to do threesomes, and with just a discussion with Yushu, they'd be able to do 4 or 5. Hee hee, but that's a good wish. Su Shirhan is Yao Yao's and my idol, too. Shield bro, you need to work hard. Yushu waved her phone at Lin Yi. I don't mind doing threesomes with a superstar. 4, 5 with Yao Yao. Lin Yi held his forehead, speechless. His heart was exploding. This sounded exciting but Lin Yi just couldn't believe it. Meng Yao slapped her forehead as well, almost fainting from the shock. What was she supposed to do now that Yushu had said it out loud? What was she supposed to do? What was she supposed to do in the future? I'll go check on Faubert. Lin Yi took the phone back from Yushu and walked to Faubert's room. I'll go wash up and sleep. Meng Yao said, defeated. I'll go too. Yushu said happily, following Meng Yao like a shadow. Lin Yi walked to Faubert's room. The door wasn't locked, so he pushed it open and walked in. Faubert was practicing on his bed when he felt Lin Yi walk in. He opened his eyes slowly. You're back. Evidently, he didn't hear the conversation between Lin Yi and Meng Yao in the living room. He could only sense movements within a certain range. Yeah, how is it, Faubert? Lin Yi nodded. I've already started training my family's martial arts again. Golden class late phase peak. This is a good starting point. I'm already satisfied. Uncle Fu said this from the bottom of his heart. He didn't seem to be forcing it at all. Faubert, I want to try again. Lin Yi said, unwilling to give up. What he didn't understand was that since Uncle Fu could absorb the spiritual qi of heaven and earth, why couldn't he absorb the universal energy in the space of the jade pendant? Chapter 1036. A strange case. Lin Yi didn't say much and walked in front of Faubert. He placed both of his hands on Faubert's meridians and activated the art of dragon mastery. Uncle Fu also cooperated and began to circulate his family's incantation. 10 minutes later, Lin Yi gave up decisively. There was no effect at all. The situation was the same as before. Lin Yi couldn't give his energy to Faubert, and Faubert wouldn't absorb the energy Lin Yi gave him. It seemed like it was like what Jiao Lao said. There was a limit to the level of this energy transfer. He could only transfer energy to practitioners who were of a lower level than him, and the peak of the lower level was the final bottleneck. In other words, as long as he didn't reach Earth class, he wouldn't be able to make Faubert and General Wei Wu into Mystic class. At first, Lin Yi thought that his ability to mass-produce masters was already very powerful, but now it seemed like it was useless. Although he could create golden class masters, golden class masters were still a rare existence in the secular world, and they were extremely rare. A golden class master was already very powerful, but the problem was that the enemies and pressure Lin Yi was facing now didn't come from the common world, but from the noble houses of a higher level. In these noble houses, golden class masters were very common. Most of them were mystic class masters, and there were even some earth class masters. In front of these people, the two golden class masters, Faubert and General Wei Wu, were useless. Lin Yi had to rely on his own strength to face them. Forget it, it was better than nothing. Lin Yi sighed. Some people wanted golden class masters but didn't have them. He could mass-produce them now. With that thought, Lin Yi gave up on the idea of creating Faubert and returned to his room. On the surface, Songshan was quite safe these days. The thief organization was gone, and the kidney trafficking organization was destroyed. The evil forces led by Zihua had also laid low, and they didn't make any big moves. Logically speaking, Lingshan should be happy in this kind of peaceful atmosphere, and in fact, the leader did praise Lingshan a few times. Ever since she became the captain, Songshan's security had improved a lot, and Lingshan had been solving big cases time and time again. She was the fastest person in Songshan's history to solve a case. Lingshan, on the other hand, was a little uneasy. In many cases, there was a bigger conspiracy behind the calm. After all, there had been a couple of missing persons cases in Songshan recently. They looked like normal cases, but Lingshan felt that things weren't that simple. Wang Lai used to be a migrant worker. 3 days ago, he had a conflict with the labor contractor because of a wage issue. After beating up the labor contractor, he disappeared. According to the information, Wang Lai was a very strong migrant worker. He had a lot of strength, and it was easy for him to beat up the labor contractor and his bodyguards. The labor contractor didn't even report it to the police. It was a street vendor selling snacks near the construction site who saw the fight and called the police. Wang Lai's disappearance made everyone think that he ran away. The police who went to investigate the case, naturally, wouldn't interfere. After all, the labor contractor said that it was fine, and he didn't want to pursue the matter. This could be seen as a normal civil dispute. If the victim's family didn't want to pursue the matter, why would they? Besides, the labor contractor wasn't hurt. Not even a light injury. Therefore, the police simply recorded it down and left. If it weren't for the fact that something similar had happened recently, this seemingly random case wouldn't have caught Lingshan's attention. Now that the case was in front of Lingshan's desk once more, she frowned at the unusualness of it. Although Wang Lai injured the labor contractor before, the labor contractor did not suffer much damage. There were just some bruises on his body and some scratches on his face. The same was true for the bodyguards. They did not even have any broken bones. Under these circumstances, was there a need for Wang Lai to run away? Even the police didn't want to arrest him. Why would he run? From the labor contractor's words, it was obvious that he was unlucky. Wang Lai could have found out about these things by asking around, but Wang Lai disappeared. The second case was similar to this one. Sun Karoli was a stevedore for a freight company. When he was working, he accidentally broke a piece of glassware. His boss didn't say anything. He didn't even mention deducting his salary. Yet, Sun Karoli disappeared. Why the hell was Sun Karoli running? When Sun Karoli disappeared, the boss felt that something was wrong and called the police. But after calling the police, they realized that nothing was missing from the company, and the reason for Sun Karoli's escape was something they had to think about. Of course, this wasn't much. If these two missing cases were coincidental, then what about today's case? Yang Maolin was a small gangster, bullying people around the market. Today, when he was collecting protection money, he bumped into someone who was serious, and so he used the scale plate on the side to smack the guy's face into a pulp. After washing away the blood, it was just a nose bleeding. It wasn't a big deal at all. Everyone thought that this was over, and the guy who got beaten up would obediently hand over protection money the next day. It wasn't like Yang Maolin hadn't beaten up merchants before. There were a lot more serious cases, but it wasn't a big deal. But the guy who got beaten up wasn't happy and called the police. The police came to mediate the situation. After all, Yang Maolin was the manager of this farmer's market, and he was collecting money for benefits. It could be seen as a commercial action of a mall, collecting rent. It was a little more than usual, but the guy didn't have to come at all. Even if they were to argue about it, they wouldn't be able to come out with a good reason. The market was private, and it was normal for Yang Mao Lin to collect fees. You didn't pay up, so you got punched. It was a normal civil dispute. But the weird thing was that Yang Mao Lin disappeared after he beat up the guy. Never seen again. It looked like he was afraid that something would happen to the guy, and so he ran away, but in reality, the guy who got beaten up wasn't a problem at all. If these 3 incidents were to be singled out, they could all be regarded as coincidences. But when the 3 incidents were put together, it was somewhat unusual. Chapter 1037. Chapter 1035. Miss Yulingshan felt like there was a problem here, but she couldn't put her finger on it. Why did these people run away? Where did they go? What was their purpose? This series of questions gave Lingshan a headache. On the surface, nothing had happened yet, and Lingshan's actions made it seem like she was making a fuss over nothing. But Lingshan was a person who hated evil. Things that didn't make sense to her would always be suspicious of them. Phew! Lingshan put the file aside and rubbed her temples. It seemed like being a leader wasn't that easy after all. It was much easier being a soldier. She had to worry about all these things, and she didn't want anything to happen to the peaceful Songshan. She hoped that she was just being too sensitive, and that it was just a coincidence. Who knew what Lin Yi was doing? Lin Yi had lost contact with Lingshan recently, and Lingshan wanted to call him to ask about Lin Yi's whereabouts, but she didn't have a good reason to do so. She'd always asked Lin Yi to help her solve cases, but now that she didn't have an excuse, she didn't know what to say. Lingshan knew about the things that happened in Songshan a couple of days. With her position, it was only natural that she knew everything that happened in Songshan. House Yu, Xiao family, and the hidden house Zhao all went to Pingzhan's house to force him to abdicate. Lingshan knew about all of this, but she couldn't do anything about it. She came from a noble house, and she knew that when it came to noble houses, the rules and methods of the common world didn't have much of an effect on them. Lingshan really wanted to help, but thinking that she was a golden class late phase, she knew that she wouldn't be able to do anything. She'd just be a burden, and so she gave up on that idea. But hearing that Lin Yi had lost all his strength, and was forced into a corner, Lingshan was still a little worried. She didn't know why, but she had this inexplicable feeling towards Lin Yi. Lin Yi was the first man who dared to act arrogantly in front of her, and all the other noble house's disciples always praised her, but Lin Yi called her Miss Brain Dead. This made her angry, but at the same time, she felt a strange feeling in her heart. She was angry, but she couldn't fight back, and she didn't dare to. She could only accept it, and slowly, she started to like this feeling of being conquered. Sometimes, she even thought that she was a bit of a masochist. But she shook her head. She did want to fight back, didn't she? However, there was no way to resist, so he could only compromise. It was just a habit that had become second nature. Lingshan couldn't stay calm at the thought of Lin Yi. She hurriedly tidied up the documents on her desk and glanced at the clock on the wall. It was already past 9. Lingshan was single, and because of her profession, she would sleep in the resting room when she worked late. She washed her face, brushed her teeth, and laid on the bed. She wanted to call Lin Yi, but she couldn't fall asleep. She washed her face and brushed her teeth before lying on the bed. She wanted to give Lin Yi a call, but couldn't fall asleep after tossing and turning. She looked at the time, it was already 10, and she was afraid that Lin Yi would fall asleep. But for some reason, she still picked up her phone and called Lin Yi. Lin Yi naturally wasn't sleeping. He had just returned from Faubert's place, and was taking a shower when Lingshan's call came in. Hello. Lin Yi picked up. It's me. Lingshan said carefully, a little hesitant. Oh, what's up? Lin Yi asked. Lingshan usually didn't call him for anything good. Either she couldn't catch the bad guys, or she had some trouble that she needed his help with. And nothing. Lingshan was a little awkward. She didn't know what she was thinking, but she didn't know what to say when the call went through to Lin Yi. Nothing. Why would you call me then? Lin Yi was confused. As far as he was concerned, Lingshan would always call him for trouble, but Lin Yi had always helped as much as he could. Lingshan's hesitation made Lin Yi think that something big had happened. So he said, is there something troublesome that you need my help with? And nothing. Lingshan had been very bold these past few days, but it was only temporary. It had been a few days since she contacted Lin Yi, and she found it hard to talk about it. Then I'll hang up? Lin Yi didn't know what was going on. If you have something to say, just say it. Why did you call me? Don't hang up. Lingshan hesitated, But seeing that Lin Yi was about to hang up, she got bolder. She was already prepared to give up, so she didn't care anymore. I miss you. Wah.
Lin Yi paused. What did you say?
Miss Dumb misses you. Ling Shan didn't hold back anymore and said it boldly. Lin Yi frowned. He didn't have much of a good impression of Ling Shan. He admired her, but it was only because of her body. As for her personality, Lin Yi didn't really like it. Although Ling Shan had changed a lot recently, Lin Yi didn't think of it as a relationship at all. As far as he was concerned, he and Ling Shan weren't the same kind of people, and Ling Shan would never understand his life. So, Lin Yi purposely kept a certain distance from Ling Shan. This was also the reason why Lin Yi didn't go any further when he saw Ling Shan's naked body in the basement of Jianghu's kidney trafficking organization. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't moved. Lin Yi was a normal man, but Lin Yi had better self-control. If he only relied on impulse to do things, then Lin Yi wouldn't be able to live until now. Now, Ling Shan's hints were a little obvious, and it gave Lin Yi a headache. He decided to find a chance to have a good talk with Ling Shan. Lin Yi didn't think that Ling Shan really fell in love with him. With Ling Shan's strong personality, Lin Yi could guess the reason why she would have feelings for him. Chen Yutian and the other pursuers were all obedient to Ling Shan, but Lin Yi was someone who did the opposite. This made Ling Shan feel fresh. Chapter 1038. Help me level up. But none of this was the reason why Ling Shan fell in love with Lin Yi. The time they spent together was limited, and Lin Yi hadn't even spent as much time with Ling Shan as Xiaoxiao did. How could she have feelings for him? If she were to talk about feelings, it was all because of the chaotic scene in the basement. Maybe things wouldn't be like this anymore once she thought it through.
And so Lin Yi said to Ling Shan, "You miss me?"
Yeah. Ling Shan nodded without hesitation. What do you miss? Lin Yi asked. I want you to help me level up. Ling Shan blushed. If someone else said this, it would be a very normal thing to say. For example, when Faubert told Lin Yi to help him level up, it wouldn't be a big deal. He was just asking Lin Yi to use his energy to help him level up. In fact, Lin Yi had been helping Faubert level up for the past few days. But Ling Shan asking Lin Yi to help her level up was a little ambiguous. How and under what circumstances did Ling Shan break through last time? Both Lin Yi and Ling Shan knew it very well. This kind of breakthrough method gave Lin Yi a headache. Lin Yi was Ling Shan's fantasy partner, and he broke through just like that. It was a little unbelievable, but it really happened. Of course, Lin Yi didn't think that was the reason for the breakthrough. It was just a trigger. If that was the case, Ling Shan would have reached Sky Class a long time ago. So this method wasn't going to work. Ling Shan was already at the point of breakthrough, and that thing was just a trigger. Of course, Lin Yi didn't delve too deeply into it. This wasn't something he could understand. Every family's practice was different, and Lin Yi didn't have the time to study it. All right, when can I help you level up?
Lin Yi hesitated before agreeing.
Ugh. Ling Shan was taken aback by Lin Yi's straightforwardness. Lin Yi agreed just like that? No hesitation at all? What's wrong? Lin Yi asked when Ling Shan didn't say anything.
No, but this weekend you'll come to my house?
Ling Shan said excitedly. Sure. Lin Yi nodded.
Then I'll be waiting.
Ling Shan's heart was pounding furiously. She was really happy that Lin Yi had agreed. Ling Shan's breathing quickened as she held the phone in her hand. She suddenly felt hot all over, remembering the special feeling she had in the basement that day. Ling Shan couldn't help but reach her hand into the blanket. After hanging up, Lin Yi didn't think too much about it and went straight into practicing mode. The situation wasn't looking good right now. House Yu and House Xiao had temporarily quieted down, but who knew if there would be any bigger movements after that. So Lin Yi couldn't slack off for even a second. He had to train hard and break through as soon as possible.
Only when he had enough strength would he be able to intimidate these noble houses.
That night, Lin Yi would spend his time training. That night, Faubert would spend his time training as well. That night, the Miss and Shu slowly fell asleep as they whispered to each other. They were talking about Xiaoxiao, their best friend life. There was something they needed to discuss about suddenly accepting a third person into their life. Tang Yun, on the other hand, had a good night's sleep. She was very happy. She was going to move into her new house in 2 days, and her mother was going to buy some charcoal buns. That night, Xiao had another sleepless night. She was thinking about the future. This was the first time she was thinking about the future of her life, and Lin Yi's future. She was a little lost, and she wanted to retreat a little. That night, Ling Shan fell asleep in a daze of excitement. Outside the window it was raining, and in her dreams, Ling Shan was listening to the wind and the rain, while Lin Yi was in his pajamas, dreaming. The rainy night in Songshan was very quiet. The homeless and beggars on the streets were all hiding, and most of the restaurants and shops had closed early. There weren't many customers in a rainy day. But there was one place that was packed with people. Even though it was raining outside, it was still very noisy. This was Jianghu's underground fighting arena. Mao Lin looked at the opponent who had won 2 matches in a row and frowned. Why was this guy so strong? Previously, when he was approached by someone, he only said that he would be able to get 100,000 yuan commission by participating in an underground boxing match. That was 100,000, no matter if he won or lost. Mao Lin's heart was moved. He was originally a small hooligan in the market. He relied on his ability to take bribes and bully the vendors to earn some money. At most, he would earn 2,000 to 3,000 yuan a month. Now that he was offered 100,000 yuan, he couldn't help but gladly accept it. As for why he made it look like he was running away, it was Scorpion who told him to do that. The reason was simple. Scorpion told him that no matter if he won or lost, he would get 100,000, but if he won, he would get another 300,000. If you kill the other party's 100,000 yuan will be given to you, and you will get 500,000 yuan. But if he killed someone, he would have to run, right? If you disappeared inexplicably, others would definitely suspect you. However, if you absconded because of some small matters, others would naturally ignore you. Small issues wouldn't make him a wanted criminal. So Mao Lin thought about it and agreed. He was a big guy, and he came from a gangster background. Getting into fights was a common occurrence. If he really killed the opponent accidentally, it wouldn't be too hard. Plus, he heard that he would get another 300,000 if he won, and Mao Lin knew that this match would be a life-and-death kind of fight. If he really didn't have the last bit of strength left, who would be willing to let the 300,000 slip away? So, in order to win, he had to beat the opponent to death. That was the only way he could win for sure. He could also get his opponent's 100,000. Mao Lin was a gangster in the first place, and he didn't really care about human lives, especially in an underground arena like this. If he really did kill someone, the boss wouldn't want things to get out of hand. He'd just walk away, and after a few years, he'd have nothing to do with it. But Mao Lin's idea was good, but the reality was cruel. Chapter 1039. The underground arena. Although he was a hooligan and fighting was a common occurrence, the short, brawny man on the stage was indeed very skilled. If Mao Lin's judgment was correct, this man was an underground fighter who made a living by fighting underground fighters. His attacks were sharp and ruthless, all of them killing moves. This was a world of difference from Mao Lin's usual fighting style. No matter how good Mao Lin was at fighting, that was just fighting, beating people up until they hurt them. This short man, on the other hand, was beating people to death. Every punch was aimed at the opponent's vitals, either the head or the chest, and every move was fatal. Mao Lin's forehead was sweating profusely as he watched the short man's opponent get beaten senseless, getting dragged off the stage like a dead dog. He regretted it. He really regretted it. He shouldn't have believed Scorpion's words. He shouldn't have had this unrealistic dream of getting rich. Finally, the short brawny man made his move again. With a bang, he punched his opponent's temple. Suddenly, his opponent's temple caved in, and then suddenly swelled up, turning into a huge tumor-like bump. His opponent, who was as strong as a bear, twitched twice and fell to the ground with a loud bang, without the slightest bit of sloppiness. The short man won again. He raised his hands, accepting the cheers of victory from the audience. 2 fights, and he'd earned 1,000,000. After the 3rd fight, he'd be able to earn 1,500,000 today. This was the highest amount he'd ever earned in his underground fighting career. Otherwise, the short man wouldn't have come all the way from Thailand to Songshan. He was a Muay Thai master, and used to be a professional athlete, but he'd been focusing on underground fights ever since he retired. Many retired boxers became weaker and weaker, but the short man was different. His current strength was even greater than his peak strength as a regular athlete. Especially after learning some killer moves from a third-rate assassin, he became even more powerful. Of course, that wasn't all.
The reason why he was so powerful was because he had embarked on the path of a cultivator. He was a physical cultivator, and he was about to reach the golden rank. That was why his strength was so tyrannical.
Scorpion bro.
I don't want to compete anymore.
Mao Lin was sweating as he watched the stream. He loved money, but he didn't want to die. The life and death agreement has been signed. You only have one choice, and that is to fight. Scorpion said coldly. I just won't participate. What can you do to me? Life and death agreement? Don't think that I'm just a hooligan. This kind of thing is not valid in the law. If you want me to fight him, I'll die if I go up. In order to survive, Mao Lin didn't care if he fell out with Scorpion, even though he knew that there had to be a huge power behind this arena. Scorpion smiled coldly as he pointed his gun at Mao Lin. Then you can die now. Jie.
Mao Lin froze as a gun was pointed at his head. He started shaking.
You guys. You can live if you participate in the competition, and you can even get the prize money. Scorpion humphed. If you don't participate, you won't get a single cent. Die now. Mao Lin was stunned. He was just a low-level hooligan. He'd never seen a gun before. Being pointed at with a gun made him shiver all over. He didn't doubt that Scorpion would kill him. After all, he'd seen the short man kill 2 people with his own eyes. This meant that they weren't afraid of dying here, and so he knelt down.
And so Mao Lin gave in, kneeling on the ground. Scorpion bro, I really don't want to die, please, I don't want to die, I haven't lived enough.
Don't want to die? Scorpion sighed and put on an act. Then wait, I'll go ask the boss. Okay. Mao Lin didn't dare hesitate. He nodded quickly. Scorpion actually just went to the entrance for a bit, and then came back. There was no need to discuss this at all. It was all planned. The live broadcast was also for Mao Lin to see, to scare him and make him take the bait. Otherwise, if Mao Lin really wanted to get killed on stage, he wouldn't have needed to watch this at all. He could have just gotten him ready to go on stage. The boss said that he can guarantee your victory, but the 500,000 you deserve, he can only give you 300,000. Do you have any objections?
Scorpion came back to the room and asked.
Yes. Mao Lin heard that, not only could he guarantee his victory, but he could also get 300,000. This was great news. His bottom line was to stay alive, and as far as he was concerned, he didn't need to pay anything. This 300,000 was an unexpected windfall. Before you go on stage, I will inject you with a drug. This drug is similar to the energy pill from before. It will allow you to have superhuman strength for 30 minutes. Scorpion said, but you must kill your opponent within 30 minutes. Otherwise, you'll have no choice but to resign yourself to fate. Is the strength pill really that useful? Mao Lin didn't really believe it. He was afraid that Scorpion was lying to trick him into fighting. Why would I lie to you? This medicine is quite expensive. If the boss didn't think that the short brute won 2 rounds in a row and lost control of the bets for the 3rd round, the boss would lose a lot of money if he won again. Do you think he would give you such an expensive medicine?
Little Scorpion snorted. After deducting your 200,000, it's not even enough to pay for this medicine.
I see. Haha, I got it. Mao Lin heard Scorpion's explanation and was instantly filled with confidence. Scorpion was right. Other than the matches, the boss would also bet on the fights, and now that the short man had won 2 matches in a row, the bets for the 3rd match would reach a new height. No one would bet on a dark horse like Mao Lin, they'd all bet on the short man. In that case, if the short man won again, the owner of the underground boxing arena would suffer a huge loss. With that thought, Mao Lin became more alert. He'd decided that after this fight, he'd take the money and leave. He'd never participate in this kind of competition again, not even if he had the pill of vigor. Otherwise, the more he won, the more bets he had on him, the more the boss would find a way to kill him. The 3rd match started, and Mao Lin, injected with the strength pill, was sent to the stage. His opponent was still the short man from before. Chapter 1040. The medicine works. The medicine worked, and Mao Lin felt like his body was filled with endless energy. Scorpion didn't lie to him. This vigor pill was really useful. At this moment, Mao Lin felt like he was a Superman. Looking at the short man's mocking smile, Mao Lin took the initiative to attack. He swung his fist at the short man. Bam! Mao Lin's fist landed on the short man's body, but at the same time,
The short man made his move as well, his fist landing on Mao Lin's chest. Mao Lin paused. The short man's fist looked really strong, but in reality, it didn't hurt at all. Yes, it didn't hurt at all. Mao Lin felt as if he had been pushed, not hit at all. Mao Lin couldn't help but be confused. What did this mean? Could it be that the short man was holding back, or was it a feint? But Mao Lin rejected the idea immediately. Holding back? How was that possible? The short man didn't look like someone who would hold back. He'd already killed 2 people. Why would he need to kill Mao Lin? A feint? That was even more impossible. Who would do that in front of a crowd? This was a real battle of strength, not a martial arts TV series. Feints? Feints were the same as courting death. Mao Lin, on the other hand, was quite satisfied with the punch he'd just thrown out. He could clearly feel that the strength of this punch was much stronger than usual, and it felt much better. The short man, on the other hand, staggered from Mao Lin's attack. The short man didn't expect Mao Lin to be this strong, going head-to-head with him. Plus, Mao Lin's attacks were quite strong as well, and even though the short man was a pseudo-golden class master, he was still feeling some pain. Die! The short man's eyes flashed fiercely as he swung his fist at Mao Lin again. Bam! It was another head-on collision, and Mao Lin's fist hit the short man again, while the short man's fist hit Mao Lin as well. The two's brute force fighting style immediately drew a round of cheers from the audience. But most of the people here thought that the short man would win for sure. Even if Mao Lin fought him head-on, he wouldn't be a match for the short man. They cheered, "Go, Red Dragon!" because the short man's headgear was a red dragon. Mao Lin, on the other hand, wore a grey dog mask, but it didn't cover all of his hair. Some green fur could be seen. But no one was cheering him on. As far as they were concerned, Mao Lin was dead. Red Dragon had already won 2 rounds in a row, without any pressure at all. This Mao Lin, on the other hand, didn't have anything special about him. He dared to fight Red Dragon head-on, but he didn't seem to be that strong. Ha! Mao Lin was puzzled. The second punch from the short man didn't seem to hurt much, as if he was playing with someone. This wasn't normal. Previously, the short man had made a feint, but what about now? He couldn't keep making feints now, could he? Could it be that the energy pill not only increased his strength, but it could also be used as a defense? Otherwise, why didn't he feel anything when the short man hit him? At the thought, Mao Lin was overjoyed. This way, as long as he fought the short man with his impenetrable body, he'd have the upper hand. He wasn't good at fighting, but he wasn't afraid of being hit. He was like an invincible Superman. With that thought, Mao Lin roared and charged at the short man without a care in the world, starting to beat him up. No matter how the short man hit him, he didn't care at all. He just kept punching, punching and punching. The audience below the stage was dumbfounded. What was going on? Why wasn't Mao Lin afraid of death? This kind of desperate fighting style was simply terrifying. Mao Lin's chest was caved in from the short man's punches, but he didn't seem to feel it. He was still fighting the short man. Jianghu, on the other hand, frowned as he looked at Scorpion. Can this guy do it? Why does it feel like he can't? He's going to die, isn't he? Scorpion wasn't too sure. It's been fine the last few times. The people who use the medicine always beat their opponents at the last moment. But he's going to die before he can even beat his opponent. Jianghu felt that something wasn't right today. He turned to the professor. Professor Yin, what's going on? This opponent is too strong. Right now, the drug is only in the initial testing stage. After injecting it, dealing with ordinary people is naturally no problem. But the person we are dealing with now should be a practitioner. Professor Yin also frowned. Let's find Fighter Li and ask him. Practitioner? No way. A practitioner fighting in an underground fight? Jianghu paused and turned to Scorpion. Go get Fighter Li and see what's going on with this guy. Yes. Scorpion replied and went to look for Fighter Li. Soon, Scorpion brought Fighter Li into the room. Fighter Li said, Master One, you were looking for me? Yes, look at this guy. How come he can't beat him even after the injection? Jianghu pointed at the screen. Fighter Li looked at the screen. From what I can see, this guy looks like a physical practitioner, but he's not golden class yet. He's a pseudo-golden class, and Professor Yin's medicine shouldn't be able to beat him. Unless the person injected with the medicine is abnormally strong. Oh? So you're saying that this young Mao Lin can't win? Jianghu frowned. It doesn't bode well for him. Fighter Li said with certainty. Fuck. Jianghu couldn't help but curse. I bet more than 20 million on Red Dragon today. If Red Dragon wins, I'll lose everything even if the odds are 1 to 1. Don't worry, Master One. I'll fight the next round. Fighter Li waved his hand casually. With my strength, killing this Red Dragon is a piece of cake. Alright. The Red Dragon won 3 rounds in a row, so the bet for the 4th round will be even bigger. I'll be able to earn it all back with interest this time. Jianghu nodded, feeling reassured. Chapter 1041. Fighter Li wanted to steal his opponent until he fell down. The only thought in his mind was to attack and kill the short brute, and then he'd have 300,000. Mao Lin was stronger than the previous 2 opponents to the short brute, but to a quasi-golden class physical practitioner like him, it wasn't much. Professor Yin's medicine was strong, but it was still in the early stages of experimentation. It couldn't create death warriors that could fight practitioners yet. These people were more than enough to deal with normal people, but they had no advantage against practitioners. Red Dragon didn't have an easy time in this match, and it was a bit hard. The punches he took were a few times more than the previous 2 matches, but he wasn't injured at all. He was a physical practitioner, and his body was extremely strong. Mao Lin's strength wasn't bad, but he didn't hit Red Dragon's vitals at all, and so he raised his hands up like nothing had happened to him, welcoming the victory of 3 consecutive championships. The crowd cheered, and these were all people who had bet on Red Dragon's victory, and Red Dragon really did win again. Boss Li, how much did you bet today? A fat white boss asked another boss beside him. I didn't bet much. I bet 5 million. Although the boss said that he didn't bet much, he still said it with some pride. Then you'll get 10 million back in one go. Congratulations. The fat boss said enviously. I only bet 300,000. If Red Dragon comes out tomorrow, I'll bet 5 million as well. No, 10 million. Oh? You're not afraid of losing all 10 million? The boss asked hesitantly. Lose? How is that possible? Red Dragon is so strong. I'll bet if he comes out. The fat boss gritted his teeth. Look at today. None of the Red Dragon's opponents are weak, but this Red Dragon is too strong. You're right, but I'm afraid that the arena will be rigged and Red Dragon will lose on purpose. The boss said worriedly. Lose on purpose? How is that possible? The fat boss said with disdain. You've seen quite a few matches, and which one of them wasn't a fight to the death? Which one didn't have people dying? The final victor was always the one who killed the enemy. How could it be faked? Unless the Red Dragon is a fool, why would he collude with the boxing arena to fake it when he's so powerful? The key is that there's no benefit at all after the fake. He's already dead, so what's the use of any benefits? That's right. The boss who won the money also nodded. Then I will bet more tomorrow, but I have to see how many matches this Red Dragon will fight tomorrow. If it's going to fight 3 more matches, I will bet on the later ones. I will wait and see what happens first. You're really cunning. The fat boss said, I won't look at the situation. I'll bet directly. In this way, if they really fight all 3 rounds, I'll bet 10 million. With the compound interest, I'll earn 80 million in the last round. Wow, 80 million. I can buy a yacht and marry a few concubines. This is so cool. Although I won't bet on the first match, I'll bet on the later matches. I'm going to bet 100 million. The boss had also made up his mind. Sometimes it was like this. When you were hesitating, there was a like-minded person beside you who was encouraging you, so you could quickly make a bold decision. Then I'll bet 20 million. That's all I have. The fat boss didn't back down. In fact, there were many similar conversations going on in the spectator stands. They were all people who were excited about winning today, and they were all discussing what to bet on tomorrow. Of course, there were some of Jianghu's eyes and ears in the spectator stands as well. These people were there to create the wind and influence the people who placed their bets, guiding the public's opinion. But today's situation didn't need these eyes and ears. Everyone had decided to bet on the Red Dragon tomorrow. Jianghu was quite satisfied with the situation. He had lost quite a bit of money today, but he could earn it back 100 times over tomorrow. Fighter Li, I'll leave it to you tomorrow. Jianghu said to Fighter Li. If we win tomorrow, we'll get an astronomical amount of money. You're too courteous, Master Jianghu. We're all working for the firewolves. What's there to ask? Fighter Li waved his hand and said carelessly. But, I have a request. Can you ask Scorpion to help me with something, Master Jiangwen? Oh. What request? Just tell me, Fighter Li. Jiangwen said quickly. It's like this, I've taken a fancy to a girl. Fighter Li said with a laugh. Haha, appetites no problem. Since Fighter Li has his eyes on her, I'll let Scorpion catch her for you. Jiangwen waved his hand nonchalantly after hearing that it was just a small matter like this. Master Jiangwen, this girl is from a good family. It'll be a problem if we take her by force. Fighter Li wasn't stupid. He would have done it himself if he could. Why would he need Scorpion? Oh. Jiangwen paused. What's the problem? Does she have a background? She doesn't. Fighter Li shook his head. What's there to worry about if she doesn't have a background? Jiangwen didn't understand. It's not the first time we've caught people. We've caught so many people already, and nothing's happened, right? This is different. Fighter Li shook his head. Master Jiangwen, this girl is for me to play with. I can't kill her before I'm done playing with her. Moreover, this little girl is very charming. I plan to let her follow me for a long time as a concubine. What I'm afraid of is that if she sneaks out and tells others about our underground boxing arena, then it will be troublesome. Oh, you're right. Jiangwen nodded. Then we'll throw money at her. Master Jiangwen, I'm thinking of letting Scorpion trick the girl's father into coming here to gamble. We'll make him owe a ton of money. He won't be able to pay it back, and we'll force him to give his daughter to me. That way, the girl would come willingly, and naturally, she wouldn't be able to run away. Fighter Li said. Chapter 1042. Chapter 1040. Wu Qintian's return. Alright, that's easy. Leave it to me, Scorpion. Scorpion patted his chest and promised. He walked the streets every day to trick people, so this was a good job for him. What's the girl's name? What's her father's name? This girl's name is Yuan. She works at a burger shop near a primary school. Her father sells groceries at a nearby market. His name is Yu Ren. His family is poor, and he hasn't seen much of the world. Just a few words and he'll be hooked. Fighter Li had done a thorough background check on Yuan. Although Fighter Li frequented the brothels every day, the people he interacted with were mostly young ladies. He was more interested in pure girls. Yesterday, he went to a burger shop to eat a burger, and he was attracted to Yuan. He did a simple investigation of Yuan's background, and when he came back to the arena, he was thinking about how he could ask Jiangwen to help him get Yuan. Jiangwen invited him to fight tomorrow, and so he asked for it. As expected, Jiangwen readily agreed. This wasn't a big deal to Jiangwen at all. Wu Gonggao, the old man of House Wu, was finally discharged from the hospital. But this hospitalization was a blessing in disguise. He broke through to Mystic Mid-Phase, and this made him very happy. Could this be the legendary saying that there can be no construction without destruction? If that was the case, he might as well let Qianxia piss him off a few more times and let him stay in the hospital a few more times. Wouldn't he be able to break through to Earth class then? Of course, Gonggao was just thinking about it. Although this breakthrough had something to do with the hospitalization, the main reason was that he was really close to breaking through. He just hadn't reached the barrier of Mystic Mid-Phase yet. When he was at home, Gonggao practiced every day without a day of rest. But after staying in the hospital, he couldn't practice anymore. He could only rest on the bed and rest for a while. When his body recovered, he broke through to Mystic Mid-Phase in one go. Wu Gonggao had also thought about it carefully. The breakthrough this time might have been due to this period of quiet recuperation, allowing himself to adjust his state, and then cultivating again to break through in one fell swoop. But no matter what, Gonggao had become a Mystic Mid-Phase, and House Wu's position was solidified. Qianxia saw that his grandpa had recovered and broken through, so he didn't want to stay in House Wu anymore. He wanted to get to Songshan as soon as possible to find Sun Jingyi, wanting to expose her relationship with Lin Yi. In Yanjing, he had a meal with Lin Yi and Xiao. He knew that the two were a couple, so Lin Yi couldn't be Sun Jingyi's boyfriend, unless Lin Yi had a foot in both boats. But it didn't matter. Qianxia planned to invite Lin Yi, Xiao, and Sun Jingyi out for a meal. If Lin Yi was too timing, it would let Sun Jingyi see the ugly side of Lin Yi. Of course, Whether or not it would destroy the relationship between Lin Yi and Xiaoxiao was none of Chen Tian's business. He didn't care at all. Chen Tian rushed back to Songshan in the middle of the night. He wasn't in a hurry to call Jingyi when he got there, but he called Wang Ba first. "Why? Wang Ba, it's me, Wu Chen Tian." Chen Tian said. "Bro Chen Tian, hello." Wang Ba was overjoyed when he received Chen Tian's call. The Xiao family's current situation wasn't ideal, and if House Wu could help them out, they wouldn't be removed from the list so quickly. Especially since Wu Gonggao, the old man of House Wu, had broken through to Mystic Mid-Phase. It was only a matter of time before he reached Earth Class. At this time, House Wu's words were very firm. "Oh, how's the thing I asked you to do?" Chen Tian, naturally, didn't know about the changes in the Xiao family. In fact, House Wu had been busy with Gonggao's matters recently, and they didn't have the time to ask about other people's matters. Gonggao had just broken through, and House Wu was busy spreading the news. They didn't have the time to listen to other people's news. "It's done. The company has been registered, and we've rented an office building. We've hired the employees as well, but we've just arrived in Songshan, and we don't have many customers. The company has been open for so many days, and no customers have come looking for us." Wang Ba said. There were countless trading companies in Songshan, and if they didn't go out to do business after opening, hoping that customers would come looking for them was just wishful thinking. But Chen Tian didn't care about that. It didn't matter if they didn't have customers, or if they didn't make money. Now that Gonggao had broken through, Chen Tian was able to apply for a large sum of money to hit on girls. Old Wu's only wish right now was for Chen Tian to marry Jingyi into House Wu's house. That way, House Wu's position would rise again. And so, Chen Tian opened this company to show off. He only wanted the position of the general manager. As for whether the company made money or not, he didn't care. He had been practicing how to show off recently, and he felt that he was doing very well already. After eating with Xiaoxiao, Chen Tian was enlightened. Girls nowadays all liked guys who knew how to show off. Only by showing off would people admire you. Chen Tian found what he was lacking, and so he took the chance to correct it. This company was the first step in his plan to show off. He wanted to be on the same level as Sun Jingyi. Sun Jingyi had a company, and could be considered a CEO. If he wanted to pursue Sun Jingyi, he had to be a CEO as well. The second step was to invite Lin Yi, Xiaoxiao, and Sun Jingyi to have a meal together. Not only would it let Sun Jingyi see Lin Yi's face, but it would also allow him to show off his skill in showing off. That Xiaoxiao really knew how to cooperate with him, so it was killing two birds with one stone. It doesn't matter if the company makes money or not. I brought back 10 million to hit on girls this time, so let me know if it's not enough. Chen Tian said nonchalantly. Chapter 1043. Chapter 1041. The Real Side of Sun Jingyi. Did you print the name card I told you to? Chen Tian asked. Yes. I used the gold-plated name card that you told me to make. It looks very high-end. Wang Ba said quickly. What about the sports car? Did you buy it? Chen Tian asked. Yes, I bought it according to your instructions. It's an Audi TT. Wang Ba said, it's a new car, and I don't have a license plate yet. Oh, there's no need for that yet. I'm giving it to someone as a gift. Chen Tian said, I'll go get it tomorrow morning. But in front of people, you have to say that this car was earned by the company, understand? Understood. Wang Ba said quickly. After calling Wang Ba, Chen Tian dialed Sun Jingyi's number. Sun Jingyi was soaking in the bathtub, quietly enjoying the warmth of the moment. It was too difficult for a girl to start a business in Songshan alone and support a company. She had to disguise herself every day, pretending to be a mature and cold female CEO, but deep down, she was still a weak girl. After removing the mature makeup, Sun Jingyi looked like a pure teenage girl. Her big eyes, long eyelashes, and hair casually falling down, combined with the bubbles in the bathtub, she looked like a little princess from a fairy tale. If Lin Yi was here, he would probably widen his eyes in shock. Was this really Sun Jingyi? Why did she look like the girl next door? In fact, Lin Yi had a good eye for people. Although he didn't know what Sun Jingyi looked like after removing her makeup, he could guess that Sun Jingyi was faking it. This surprised Sun Jingyi back then. Although Sun Jingyi's life was fake, she had no choice. She had to survive, She had to make a name for herself and show her family that she, Sun Jingyi, was a capable person without relying on her family. She wasn't a marriage tool for her family's benefit. However, without the support of House Sun, Sun Jingyi was like any other grassroots businesswoman, quietly running a small company, moving forward bit by bit in the fierce competition. Facing her family's forced marriage, or rather, the forced marriage of a few people in her family, Sun Jingyi chose this difficult path. She had to keep going, and she had to make some achievements. Picking up her phone, Sun Jingyi casually flipped through the album and saw a few pictures of Lin Yi. Sun Jingyi couldn't help but frown. She hadn't contacted Lin Yi for a long time. But because Wu Chintian didn't bother her anymore, Sun Jingyi didn't have a reason to look for Lin Yi. As for Lin Yi, Sun Jingyi was full of curiosity. It couldn't be said that she liked him. Sun Jingyi knew that even if she didn't agree to the marriage with House Wu, she couldn't just randomly have a boyfriend. If she randomly had a boyfriend, it might make her grandpa angry. In this generation of the Sun family, there weren't many juniors. Those who successfully broke through the first level of the internal martial technique were also very few. If the Sun family didn't find a helper, they wouldn't be kicked out of the ranks of the aristocratic families, but they would gradually decline. So Sun Jingyi's criteria for choosing a partner was very clear. It had to be someone she liked, and he had to be capable. Sun Jingyi wanted to show her uncle, second uncle, and aunt that she didn't need them to introduce her in a hurry. The boyfriend she found was also very outstanding. Currently, Sun Jingyi's feelings towards Lin Yi were only curiosity. Perhaps she had a good impression of him, but that was all. Sun Jingyi was a very rational person, and it could be seen from her daily disguise. Fool. Jingyi sighed inwardly. Lin Yi had entered her sights, but it seemed that he wasn't good enough yet. His punches and kicks were strong, but compared to a practitioner, there was still a world of difference between him and a practitioner. Sun Jingyi didn't have much information. She didn't have any contact with her family, and she didn't have any interactions with the police. So Sun Jingyi didn't hear about any of the big events that happened in Songshan, and she didn't know that Lin Yi almost went back to his hometown to seek refuge. Just when she was thinking about these messy things, an urgent ringtone sounded, and it scared Sun Jingyi. Sun Jingyi looked at the caller ID and frowned. But after hesitating for a while, she still picked up the phone. "I'm Sun Jingyi," Sun Jingyi said faintly, as if she didn't see the caller ID. "Jingyi, I'm Wu Chintian." Chuntian's voice came from the other side of the phone, and he sounded a little excited. "I'm back in Songshan." "Oh, you're back," Sun Jingyi said faintly. "Yeah, I've invested in a company here. Haha, looks like I'll be stationed in Songshan from now on, but we'll have more chances to meet each other," Chintian said pretentiously. "Oh." Sun Jingyi wasn't interested in whether Chintian invested in a company or not. He was a member of a noble house, and if he used his family's connections to do business, he would make money no matter what he did. So if Chintian wanted to make money, it was easy, but Sun Jingyi couldn't compare. From Sun Jingyi's point of view, if he couldn't make money with the connections of a noble house, wouldn't he be an idiot? "Haha, long time no see. Let's go for breakfast tomorrow morning?" Chintian suggested impatiently. "Tomorrow morning? I need to go to the company, I don't have time." Sun Jingyi rejected Chintian's suggestion faintly. "Haha, let's go out for a chat. It's been a while. Let's invite Lin Yi too." Chintian purposely brought up Lin Yi. As far as he was concerned, as long as Lin Yi went, Sun Jingyi would definitely go as well, and Sun Jingyi would be able to see the ugly face of Lin Yi's two-timing. "Lin Yi?" Sun Jingyi paused, and couldn't help but feel a ripple in her heart. Sun Jingyi didn't think that Lin Yi was a bad guy, but he was a thief. If she brought a thief back to House Sun, wouldn't her grandpa die from anger? "Yeah, I met Lin Yi in Yanjing, and I even treated him and his friends to a meal. It was a great gathering," Chintian said. "So now that I'm back in Songshan, I'm going to have another meal with them. Let's go together tomorrow?" "Then." "All right." Hearing that Lin Yi was going, Sun Jingyi reluctantly agreed. Her impression of Chintian was getting worse and worse, and although her family told Sun Jingyi to interact with Chintian more often, Sun Jingyi just brushed it off. "All right, I'll pick you up at your company tomorrow morning." Chintian wasn't happy that Sun Jingyi agreed to have breakfast with him the moment she heard Lin Yi's name, but when he remembered that he would be able to expose Lin Yi tomorrow, he endured it. Chapter 1044. Chapter 1042. You're cute. Early in the morning, Lin Yi went to the hospital to pick up Tang Yun as usual, but Tang Yun said to Lin Yi after getting in the car, "Let's go to Time Street and pick up Xiao." Oh. Lin Yi blinked. She said that she woke up this morning and realized that her car was out of gas, so she wanted you to pick her up. Tang Yun waved her phone. Xiao just called me. Isn't there a gas station in front of her house? Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry at this excuse. Is that so? Tang Yun blinked before bursting into laughter. This Xiao, next time I'll get her to come up with a more reasonable excuse. You knew she was lying. Lin Yi smiled. Yeah. She admitted it. Tang Yun smiled as well. You won't blame me for not telling the truth, right? I won't. Lin Yi shook his head. With Tang Yun's personality, naturally, she'd want Xiao to be happier when Xiao was in this state, so it was normal for her to work with Xiao to trick him. With that, Lin Yi drove the car to Xiao's neighborhood. At Xiao's neighborhood, Lin Yi saw Xiao, who was dressed up nicely, standing in front of her house with a smile on her face. Her petite figure was filled with an indescribable youthfulness. This was completely different from someone who was walking towards the end of their life. If Lin Yi didn't know what was going on with Xiao's body, he wouldn't believe that she was really going to die. Xiao had her usual smile on her face as she ran over excitedly when she saw Lin Yi's car. Tang Yun and Xiao sat in the back of the Beetle, leaving an empty seat in the front passenger seat. I'm sorry, the car ran out of gas, so I had to ask you to pick me up. Xiao said apologetically to Lin Yi after getting in. Oh, okay. Lin Yi nodded. Okay. Xiao didn't understand Lin Yi's response. What did he mean by okay? Tang Yun covered her mouth and giggled. Xiao still didn't understand. He drove the car to the entrance of Xiao's house and turned into a small street, stopping at a gas station after a few turns. My car's out of gas too. Lin Yi said faintly, not exposing Xiao's lie. But Xiao's face went red. She was a weird girl who lied without blinking, but that was only for other people. She was facing Lin Yi now, and she couldn't help but feel embarrassed. Although Lin Yi didn't expose her directly, what was the difference between this situation and him exposing her? Xiao didn't think that Lin Yi would know that there was a gas station near her house. It was very secluded, in a small street. If it wasn't someone who lived nearby or someone who was very familiar with the area, they wouldn't be able to find it. But Lin Yi found it, and he wanted to refuel here. Lin Yi got out of the car and went to get the gas gun. Xiao, who was in the car, held her burning cheeks, fidgeting. What do I do, Yun sis? Does he know that I lied to him? Ha. Tang Yun looked at Xiao mischievously. So what if he knows? Then he won't believe me anymore. Xiao said worriedly. It's fine. He guessed it already. Tang Yun smiled. I guessed it already. Xiao was even more embarrassed. She didn't think that Lin Yi would know that she was lying. Lin Yi got in the car after refueling and didn't say anything else. He started the car and drove towards the school. But the more Lin Yi didn't say anything, the more Xiao felt uneasy. If Lin Yi said something to her, she'd feel more normal. So there's a gas station here, I didn't know. I'll come here to refuel too. Xiao pretended like she just found out. Lin Yi honey, you're amazing. You even found a gas station on a small street like this. Oh, it's not that amazing. I just need to keep an eye on it. Lin Yi said with a smile that wasn't a smile. I couldn't keep an eye on it. Xiao said with a laugh. Oh, I saw a receipt from the gas station in your car. There's this address on it, so I wrote it down. Lin Yi said. Xiao's eyes and mouth were wide open. She was so shocked that she couldn't say a word. Her body stiffened, and her forehead almost hit the roof of the car. She stared at Lin Yi blankly, her face burning up. She felt like she was going to explode. I don't want to live anymore. This is too embarrassing. Xiao was going crazy. Can't you just expose me? Can't you just let me have a little? I'm going to kill myself. You're pretty cute. Lin Yi couldn't help but smile at Xiao's reaction. Is that so? Xiao was overjoyed at Lin Yi's words. Her eyes turned into crescents. Really? Yun sis, he said I'm cute? Yeah. Tang Yin smiled as well. She finally understood why Meng Yao agreed to let Yu Shu be a small wife. She wouldn't be lonely with a small wife like this by her side. She'd be really happy in the future. Unconsciously, Tang Yin realized that she'd accepted Xiaoxiao's existence in her heart. If she could be with her for the rest of her life, that would be a pretty good thing. But it was just a good thought. Xiaoxiao's ending was destined to be very sad. Tang Yin couldn't help but feel sad at the thought. Xiaoxiao, on the other hand, didn't seem to know what it felt like to be sad at all. Her eyes and lips were all curved up, like an emoticon. She was so happy. Lin Yi looked at Xiaoxiao and found it hard to connect her with the emotional Xiaoxiao who wrote her wishes on her phone. In front of people, she was a happy person, and it seemed like she'd be happy at any time. She made everyone around her happy with her, but behind the scenes, she was still a pitiful girl on the brink of death. Lin Yi parked the car at the food street behind the school. When he got out, Xiaoxiao looked at the Lamborghini near the wall and couldn't help but start laughing. Chapter 1045. Cake with love to outsiders. She looked like Tang Yun's best friend, and no one would suspect that she had anything to do with Lin Yi. It wasn't until they reached the school building and Tang Yun entered Class 9's classroom that Xiaoxiao acted a little closer to Lin Yi. They were about to reach class anyway, and there weren't many people in the hallway. Xiaoxiao didn't hold back anymore and put her hand in front of Lin Yi. Question mark. Lin Yi blinked. What are you doing? Holding hands. I didn't fight for anything when my wife was here, but now that she's gone, can't I get better treatment? Xiaoxiao said urgently. Quick, it's my turn. Ha! Lin Yi smiled and held Xiaoxiao's hand. It only took a few steps for them to reach Class 5, and Lin Yi let go of her. It was just a short distance, but Xiaoxiao was happy enough. She hummed a little tune as she followed Lin Yi into class, waiting for Lin Yi to sit down before quietly sitting beside Lin Yi like a little wife. Seeing how easily Xiaoxiao was satisfied made Lin Yi feel pity for this girl, but there was nothing Lin Yi could do. His medical skills weren't good enough, and he couldn't let Xiaoxiao live. Lin Yi, honey, I brought you good food. Xiaoxiao sat down and opened her bag excitedly, talking to herself. Lin Yi really liked Xiaoxiao from the bottom of his heart now. This was why Lin Yi didn't get angry when she lied to him about running out of gas. If it were before, Lin Yi wouldn't have spoiled Xiaoxiao like this. I made a cake with love myself. Xiaoxiao was a little smug as she rummaged through her bag and pulled out a food preservation bag. Here it is, dang 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 dang. Love cakes. Ha! Xiaoxiao was excitedly trying to show Lin Yi the cake she made, but when she took it out, she realized that the cake in the bag was squashed. The heart-shaped pastry was originally decorated with cherries and strawberries, but now it was crushed beyond recognition. Oh! Xiaoxiao was going crazy. I woke up at 3 in the morning. How did this happen? How unlucky! Xiaoxiao slapped her forehead, a little dejected. She was a little sleepy after baking the cake in the morning, so she put the cake in her bag and fell asleep. She didn't even know what was going on when she fell asleep, using her bag as a pillow. The pastries were still in her school bag. Now that she had pressed on them, the result was obvious. But Xiaoxiao forgot about it after she woke up. She called Tang Yun, dressed up, and left with her bag. She forgot about using her bag as a pillow. She didn't even think that the cake she made was crushed. Lin Yi looked at Xiaoxiao in front of him. He was really happy, really touched. Xiaoxiao had written clearly on her phone that she wanted him to fall in love with her and then die in front of him to get her revenge. But Lin Yi didn't believe her anymore. If it was just a lie, why would she wake up in the middle of the night to make a cake with love? Whatever, throw it away. I'll make it again tomorrow, and use a food preservation bag this time. I learn from my mistakes. Xiaoxiao said, a little depressed. I'm too stupid, putting it in my bag and using it as a pillow to sleep. Sigh. Haha, Lin Yi couldn't help but laugh at Xiaoxiao's words. Why are you laughing? Xiaoxiao pouted. Why would I throw it away? It's just a little out of shape. Nothing bad. Lin Yi took the food preservation bag from Xiaoxiao's hands and opened it, stuffing the cake into his mouth. I haven't eaten anything this morning, so I'm pretty hungry. It's not bad. Lin Yi finished the cake in 2 or 3 bites, not minding the shape and beauty of the cake at all. Ah! Xiaoxiao didn't expect Lin Yi to eat it just like that. She paused. No more? Lin Yi asked after eating. No more. I'll make more tomorrow. Xiao was happy again, her eyes looking at Lin Yi a little more tenderness. Lin Yi was touched, but so was Xiao. She didn't even know how to eat the cake after it was squashed like that, but Lin Yi ate it without a care, even asking if she had any more. This made Xiao feel that Lin Yi was really nice to her. No one had ever treated her this well since she was young, and she'd never been in a relationship before. Falling in love all of a sudden made her feel that everything was so perfect. If it was possible, she really didn't want to die. She was a little scared. The more she developed with Lin Yi, the heavier her heart became. If this continued, the final parting would be very painful. She didn't want herself to be in pain, and she didn't want Lin Yi to be in pain. The reason why she didn't make friends or date before was because she didn't want to be sad on the final day. But now everything had changed. She had friends before she knew it. Tang Yun and Yushu were her good friends. She had a lover too. Xiao could feel that she and Lin Yi were heading towards danger, and the two were getting more and more immersed. Sigh, what should I do? Xiao felt a headache coming on. Lin Yi, on the other hand, didn't think much of it. He finished the cake and drank 2 mouthfuls of water before tossing the bag into a nearby trash can. You don't have to wake up so early to do this. It's troublesome. Lin Yi was worried about Xiao's health. She didn't have many days left to live, and waking up in the middle of the night to make cakes. Wasn't she just waiting for her condition to worsen? It's not troublesome, I'm very happy. Xiao shook her head. I'll prepare it tonight. And I'll bake it tomorrow morning. I didn't prepare it this morning, so it's a little troublesome. Lin Yi didn't say anything else after seeing Xiao's insistence. She was happy that Xiao was doing this, and Lin Yi was happy to make her happy. Friday night. Race. Have you contacted them? Lin Yi changed the topic. Yeah, I've contacted them. Xiao's face brightened up at the mention of racing. I contacted some of the racers I used to play with, and they signed up. But please don't lose, I can't afford 200,000. Haha, you don't believe in my skills? Lin Yi didn't care at all for these civilian races. Chapter 1046. Chuntian's invitation, as long as you have faith in me, Lin Yi teased Xiao. Oh. Of course I have faith in you, but the car won't do. Xiao said. Mountain roads. Their modified cars won't be able to do much. Lin Yi shrugged. That's true. Who would dare to speed up on that kind of road? Xiao thought about it and calmed down. Tian went to Wangba early in the morning to get his car. His company was quite grand, taking up 2 floors by the roadside. The signboard was very bright too. Tian was very happy. He patted Wangba on the shoulder. Not bad, Tian Trading Company, Limited. Good job. Give me your name card. Here it is. Wang Dao didn't expect that Tian didn't care about the company's profits at all. He was only concerned about the company's appearance. He calmed down and handed a box of gold-plated name cards to Tian. Bro Tian, are you satisfied with this? Yes, you did well. Tian took the card and looked at it before putting it in his pocket. He got in the car and drove to Sun Jingyi's place. He parked the car below Sun Jingyi's place and called Sun Jingyi. He wanted to give Sun Jingyi a surprise. This car was a gift for Sun Jingyi. He remembered that Sun Jingyi said that she liked Audi cars, but she didn't like them that were too eye-catching. So she bought an Audi A4L. In Songshan, where the rich gathered, an Audi A4L was a very ordinary car. After about half an hour, Sun Jingyi finally arrived. But today, Sun Jingyi didn't look as serious as before. Her makeup was more playful and cute. Tian was taken aback. He knew that Sun Jingyi's mature look was fake, but he didn't expect Sun Jingyi to look so cute. He hadn't seen Sun Jingyi in this style for many years. Tian thought that Sun Jingyi dressed up especially for him. He was overjoyed and quickly walked over. Jingyi, you look so pretty today. Oh. Sun Jingyi, of course, didn't dress up for Tian. Only she knew why she dressed up like this. Women dressed up for those they liked, but who was Sun Jingyi dressed up for? Tian was used to Sun Jingyi's cold attitude. He didn't mind and walked to his car. He opened the door for Sun Jingyi. Jingyi, please? ? Sun Jingyi looked at the Audi TT in front. This is your car? Yeah, I started a company and made money, so I bought a car. Tian was very proud of himself when he said that, showing off his coolness to the fullest. Although he hadn't gone out for a while, he had read some novels about coolness, like So Pure So Flirtatious prequel. The main character, Lu Lei, was very coolness, and Qin Tian had always wanted to imitate him. However, he neglected one thing. Coolness required strength, and without strength, he'd be an idiot. "Oh, I'll drive my own car." Sun Jingyi rejected Chen Tian's invitation and walked to her car. Chen Tian's face froze. He remembered that Sun Jingyi wouldn't sit in his car with him. If he gave the car to Sun Jingyi later, it would be Sun Jingyi's. She'd want it then, right? Qin Tian wanted to give the car to Jingyi right now, but then he thought about giving it to Jingyi at the dinner table. With Xiaoxiao helping him act cool and complimenting him a bit, wouldn't he be able to gain a lot of face? With that thought, Qin Tian decided to hold it in a little longer. He'd give the car to her during dinner. If Qin Tian didn't say that he'd treat Lin Yi, Sun Jingyi wouldn't have agreed to eat with him. She'd use work as an excuse to cancel the meeting. But when Qin Tian said that he'd treat Lin Yi, Sun Jingyi hesitated. She hadn't seen Lin Yi for a long time, and Sun Jingyi really wanted to see Lin Yi. No matter what, she was half his lover, and Sun Jingyi had a good impression of Lin Yi. She would be happy if the two met occasionally. The two cars headed towards Songshan's first high school one after the other. Sun Jingyi led the way, and Qin Tian followed behind. Sun Jingyi parked the car at the food street behind Songshan's first school. This was where Sun Jingyi picked up Lin Yi last time. She didn't know that Lin Yi was a student of Songshan's first school, but she thought that Lin Yi lived nearby. Sun Jingyi's car stopped next to the Beetle, and Qin Tian's Audi TT stopped next to Sun Jingyi's Audi A4L. The two got out of the car, and Qin Tian walked over. "I'll call Lin Yi now? Where is this? Should we wait for him here?" "Oh." Sun Jingyi frowned, and walked towards the street not far away. She didn't want to stand so close to Qin Tian. It made her uncomfortable. As for why they parked the car here, it was because they picked up Lin Yi last time. And the most important reason was that Sun Jingyi didn't want to wait with Qin Tian in front of her house. Sun Jingyi didn't want others to see her with Qin Tian, and Sun Jingyi felt that it would be embarrassing if people she knew saw her. As for coming here, it was just something Sun Jingyi did. But Qin Tian didn't seem to notice Sun Jingyi's disgust. Sun Jingyi left, and he followed beside Sun Jingyi, calling Lin Yi as he walked. Not long after Lin Yi and Xiaoxiao entered the classroom, the phone in his pocket vibrated. Lin Yi took it out and looked at the caller ID. He didn't know it. But Lin Yi still picked it up. "Hello, who are you looking for?" "Lin Yi?" Qin Tian asked. "I am, and you are?" Lin Yi didn't recognize Qin Tian's voice. He didn't care about people like Qin Tian, and naturally, he wouldn't remember his phone number or voice. "I'm Qin Tian. I'm back in Songshan now, with Jingyi. I want to treat you and your girlfriend to a feast. Do you have time?" Qin Tian asked. "With Sun Jingyi? Girlfriend?" Lin Yi blinked, but understood immediately. The girlfriend Qin Tian was talking about must be Xiaoxiao. Lin Yi wanted to reject him directly, but thinking about Xiaoxiao's personality, he decided that she might like to go to parties. "Wait, I'll ask Xiaoxiao." Chapter 1047. The car was smashed. "Xiaoxiao," Wu Qintian called saying he wants to treat us to a big meal. "Do you want to go?" Lin Yi turned to Xiaoxiao. "Wu Qintian?" Xiaoxiao blinked before remembering who Qintian was. "That Iron Fist Wu? He wants to treat us to a big meal? Let's go, I love big meals." When? Lin Yi asked Qintian. "Right now, Jingyi and I are at the food street behind Songshan's first school. I heard you live nearby," Qintian said. "Now, do you want to go?" Lin Yi didn't answer Qintian's question but asked Xiaoxiao instead. Of course, Xiaoxiao didn't have any interest in studying at all. She was about to die. Why would she study? She didn't even have time to study for college. And so Xiaoxiao happily agreed. "Then wait for me, we'll go now," Lin Yi said to Qintian and hung up. Lin Yi didn't have a good impression of Qintian, but he didn't have a bad impression either. He was just one of Sun Jingyi's pursuers. If there was a conflict, it was just that he stole Lin Yi's wallet, but Lin Yi stole his wallet as well. In comparison, Qintian's loss was bigger. Especially when they were in Yanjing, Qintian had been screwed over by Feng Xiaoxiao to the point where he lost a lot. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was a bit troubled. Did this Qintian have a screw loose in his head? Didn't he learn from last time's lesson? He wanted to treat Xiao to a meal now that he was back in Songshan? But thinking about how Sun Jingyi was with Chen Tian, Lin Yi felt that he probably wanted to let Sun Jingyi see his relationship with Xiao, to let Sun Jingyi know that he was a two-timer. But Lin Yi didn't care at all. He knew what his relationship with Sun Jingyi was. Lin Yi was just Sun Jingyi pretending to be her lover, in name only. There was no real relationship at all. And so, bringing Xiao with him didn't bother Lin Yi. As long as Xiao could eat happily, Lin Yi would be satisfied. Lin Yi and Xiao cleaned up, and Lin Yi sent a message to the Miss and Tang Yun, saying that he was bringing Xiao to eat with a friend. The Miss and Tang Yun both knew about Xiao, so they didn't say anything about Lin Yi bringing Xiao out alone. They only told Lin Yi to be careful and take care of Xiao. Yu Feng was a practitioner, after all. His butt was pricked, but he could still walk after being bandaged. He was from House Yu, and naturally, he had Dr. Kong and Miracle Dr. Guan's Jinchuang and Jinchuang medicine. He didn't hesitate to apply it on himself, Ming, and Peng Hu. But Peng Hu's egg was cut off, and this medicine couldn't fix it. He could only be an Eggman in the future. In the morning, the three of them came out of the hospital. With the Jinchuang ointment, they didn't have to worry about the slow recovery of the wound. However, although the Jinchuang ointment was good, it couldn't be applied to the wound and make it better immediately. The bleeding stopped and the wound healed, but it still took a while for the wound to be as good as before. Yu Feng was worried about the new car he bought yesterday. It was a Lamborghini, and it didn't even have a license plate. It was parked behind the school's food street. What if the street vendor scratched it? So after leaving the hospital, the three of them stopped a taxi and went to the food street behind the school. However, what caught his eye was not his Lamborghini, but an Audi TT, which was parked in the spot where he had parked before. "Where's my car?" Yu Feng blinked. "Master Xie, the car is over there." Song Ming pointed weakly at the corner. "Ah!" Yu Feng looked at his car and was dumbfounded. His car was parked at the foot of the wall, and the body was full of holes. It was dented and smashed, and the paint was peeling off. It didn't look like a new car at all. It looked like a scrapped car. "My Lamborghini!" Xie Yufeng quickly ran over and saw his beloved car in such a state. His heart ached. He was rich, but the money he brought was limited. He wanted to hit on girls, so he got a flashy car. He didn't expect it to be smashed like this in just one day. "Who did it? Who smashed my car?" "Young Master Xie, it should be done by the person in the Audi TT." Wang Tsongming pondered for a moment and analyzed. There are only 3 reasonable parking spaces here. The parking spaces are full, and there is no other place to park except under the wall. There is a food street here at night, so it can't be seen if it was parked elsewhere. So, from the current situation, it must be that the Audi TT felt that our car came later and occupied its parking space, so it pushed our car under the wall and smashed it like this. Isn't that Audi TT Xiao's car? Did she do it? Does she have that much strength? Yu Feng thought that Ming's analysis made sense, but he found it strange that Xiao had that much strength. "I think it's Xiao who told Lin Yi to do it." Lin Yi's a practitioner. Pushing a car to a corner shouldn't be hard at all. Ming said. "Fuck. I haven't even taught him a lesson yet, and he's trying to bully me. Xiao, I'll push you onto the bed one day and fuck you to death." Yu Feng gritted his teeth. "Smash it. Smash both Lin Yi and Xiao's cars. That beetle is Lin Yi's." "Wait." Song Ming waved his hand, stopping the furious Yu Feng. "Master Xie, please calm down." "Oh? What? He's trying to bully me, and I can't fight back." Yu Feng humphed. "No, Master Xie, I think it's best not to smash Lin Yi's car." Song Ming waved his hand. "Master Xie, Lin Yi's a practitioner. You think he'll just let you go after smashing his car?" "He's a practitioner and so am I. He's just a mystic early phase, and I'm a mystic early phase peak. What's there to be afraid of?" Yu Feng smiled coldly. "Master Xie, but you have to hide your strength. You can't expose it, you have to investigate in secret," Song Ming said. Chapter 1048. Chapter 1046. Perfect timing, but he didn't want to just let this go. Wasn't this too much of a waste? After some thought, Yu Feng said, "Then let's smash Xiao's car."
That Yushu girl messed with us yesterday. Xiao must have had a part in it. She must have been the one who came up with the idea to smash the car. Let's do it as a warning to Lin Yi that we're not pushovers, and we can't touch Lin Yi's bottom line, killing two birds with one stone. Alright. Let's do it as a warning to Lin Yi. Song Ming nodded in agreement. Then let's just smash Xiao's car. Lin Yi doesn't have any proof anyway, and if we don't admit it, what can he do to us? It's not Lin Yi's car, it's just a girl's car. Lin Yi won't lose any face. Then what are we waiting for? Let's do it. Yu Feng had been itching to give it a try. He picked up a brick from the ground and walked over to Xiao's Audi TT, slamming it down on the windshield without saying a word. Pang! The windshield was smashed by Xie Yufeng's brick. Song Ming and Peng Hu, on the other hand, found their tools and started smashing the car with Yu Feng. The Audi TT's alarm went off, deafening, but Yu Feng didn't mind at all. The louder the alarm, the better he felt, as if he had vented all his frustrations. Bitch, let's see how you act. Let's see how you smash my car. I'll smash yours too. I'll smash you to death. Yu Feng cursed as he smashed the car. One day, I'll fuck you to death. You little bitch. Because the three of them were working together, the Audi TT was smashed beyond recognition in an instant. Chen Tian and Jingyi were waiting for Lin Yi at the crossroads when they heard the car alarm. Chen Tian paused, but turned his head the next moment, his face extremely ugly. There were actually 3 hooligans smashing his new Audi TT. Chen Tian was enraged. How dare you smash my car? Do you want to die? This was a gift for Sun Jingyi. Chen Tian immediately went berserk, rushing over to Yu Feng, Song Ming, and Peng Hu. He swung his arm and slapped them across the face, sending Yu Feng tumbling to the ground. Yu Feng didn't put up any defenses at all, and Chen Tian was a physical practitioner, so Yu Feng fell into his trap with a moment of carelessness. My car. My beloved car. Chen Tian touched the battered Audi TT, almost crying. This is my present for Jingyi. You bastards. How dare you smash my car? I'll kill you. Chen Tian attacked again, sending Peng Hu flying with a punch. Song Ming wasn't spared, either. Neither of them were practitioners, so they weren't even worth mentioning in front of Chen Tian. They landed on the ground, there but split open once more. Yu Feng was confused by Chen Tian's sudden appearance. But after hearing his words, he was puzzled. This was his car? Wasn't this Xiao's car? What was going on? Could it be that he hit the wrong car? But Yu Feng was the young master of House Yu. So what if he hit the wrong car? How dare he hit the young master of House Yu? Did he not want to live anymore? These few days, Yu Feng had suffered a lot from Lin Yi, Yushu, and Xiao. How could he take it lying down in front of a random person? He jumped up from the ground and looked at Chen Tian coldly, pointing at his Lamborghini. You're the one who smashed my car? Your car? That broken car is yours? Yu Feng looked in the direction Yu Feng was pointing at and frowned. Why would I smash your car? Humph, even if you didn't smash my car, I did smash yours. What are you going to do about it? Yu Feng's face turned dark. You're just a physical practitioner at the early phase of Golden Class, and you dare act cool in front of me? You really don't know what's good for you. Chen Tian had shown his strength just now, and Yu Feng naturally knew who he was. But he didn't know who he was, nor did he know who Sun Jingyi was. He was the trump card of House Yu, and he had never shown his face in public. He didn't interact with other noble houses either. This was why he was able to hide his identity and come to Song's Han. Wouldn't he be exposed if someone he knew saw him? What the hell? You smashed my car and you dare talk to me like that? Don't you know who I am? Chen Tian didn't think that Yu Feng wouldn't kneel down and beg for forgiveness after being caught red-handed. Instead, he was acting like a dead pig that wasn't afraid of boiling water. Chen Tian was infuriated. He wanted to use these 3 to build up his heroic image in front of Sun Jingyi. I don't need to know who you are. What I do know is that you're dead. Yu Feng circulated his qi secretly. He couldn't hold it in anymore these few days. In front of Lin Yi, all he could do was hold it in. But in front of these outsiders, he didn't need to hold it in anymore. Since this guy in front of him didn't care, he'd use him to calm his anger. Yu Feng smiled coldly. Just a physical practitioner at the early phase of Golden Class.
I'll let you know the power of a spiritual practitioner at the peak of the early phase of mystic class. A spiritual practitioner at the peak of the early phase of mystic class. Qiantian paused and looked at Yu Feng's strong aura. He was a physical practitioner, but he could feel the qi of a spiritual practitioner. The difference between the two was huge, but Qiantian could tell that Yu Feng wasn't weak at all. In fact, he was stronger than him. Just when the tension was high, Lin Yi came with Xiaoxiao. He froze when he saw Yu Feng and Qiantian fighting. But when he saw the Audi TT beside Qiantian, Lin Yi understood everything. Did Xie Yufeng smash the wrong car? Did he smash Qiantian's car? But Qiantian wasn't a match for Yu Feng, so Lin Yi had to help him. After all, Lin Yi hated Yu Feng more. This Wu Qiantian, on the other hand, was a little stupid and arrogant. Lin Yi didn't have any special feelings for him. Wu Qiantian, Xie Yufeng, you guys know each other? Lin Yi pretended not to see the conflict between the two and asked curiously. Fuck! Yu Feng was going crazy. Yes, he really was going crazy. Why was Lin Yi like a ghost? Why did he appear everywhere? He was just about to use his qi to teach Qiantian a lesson, and now Lin Yi was here. Yu Feng quickly retracted his qi in fright. He couldn't let Lin Yi discover his true strength. Chapter 1049. He had to endure. One had to admit that Lin Yi was quite a bad guy when he started playing dirty, even worse than Xiaoxiao and Yushu. Lin Yi had been an assassin before, and assassins were people who would do anything to kill. Other than assassination, getting someone else to do the dirty work was also the highest level of an assassin. If he could get someone else to do the dirty work, then why not? Lin Yi had a pretty good grasp of the situation now. Yu Feng's Lamborghini was smashed, and Qiantian's Audi was parked right where the Lamborghini was yesterday. Naturally, Yu Feng thought that it was the owner of the Audi who smashed it. And the owner of this Audi, from Yu Feng's point of view, was Xiaoxiao. In the entire school, only Xiaoxiao had an Audi TT, and so Yu Feng was certain that he and Xiaoxiao were the ones who smashed his car. Yu Feng was probably afraid of exposing his strength in front of him, so he didn't dare smash his car, afraid that he would cause trouble for him. He could only use Xiaoxiao's car to vent his anger. But little did he know that Xiaoxiao didn't drive here at all, coming in Lin Yi's car. The Audi parked here was Qiantian's. How strong was Qiantian? How strong was Xie Yufeng? Lin Yi knew very well. If these two were to really fight, Qiantian would be the one at a disadvantage. But Lin Yi couldn't let Qiantian lose now. In comparison, Lin Yi hated Yufeng more, and Qiantian still had to treat him and Xiaoxiao to a feast. What was the point of eating if he got hurt? And so, Lin Yi spoke up, and Yu Feng dispersed his qi. His expression was one of pain and helplessness. Wah, Iron Fist bro, are you going to show off your Iron Fist? Hurry up and use your Iron Fist to cripple this guy. It's time to show off your heroic spirit. Xiaoxiao saw that Qiantian and Yu Feng were fighting, cheering. She didn't want Iron Fist to lose, either. After all, he still had to treat her to a feast. How could she eat if he got beaten to death? Really? Qiantian was overjoyed when he heard Xiaoxiao's words. He thought to himself, this girl sure knows what I'm doing. She's working with me to act cool the moment she arrived. Treating her to a few more meals wouldn't be a loss. With her around, wouldn't my heroic image be established? Sun Jingyi will also like me. Yeah. If you look at TV dramas, you are usually the male lead. Now is the time for the male lead to show his power. Hurry up and kill him. Xiaoxiao continued to bluff. This Xie Yufeng was really annoying, and Xiaoxiao was pissed off at him. She didn't have much time left, and Xiaoxiao wanted to enjoy her friendship and love in this limited time. But this Yufeng just had to come and mess with her, annoying her. This guy was wasting her life. Xiaoxiao didn't have time to deal with him. And so, from Xiaoxiao's point of view, if Iron Fist Wu could cripple this Xie Yufeng and make him stay in the hospital for a year and a half, that'd be awesome. She'd be dead by the time he came out, and he wouldn't even be able to find her for revenge. He'd probably be in the hospital again. All right. No problem. Watch me teach this little bastard a lesson. Qiantian was pumped up by Xiaoxiao's words. He raised his hand and smashed it at Yu Feng. Yu Feng's eyes were filled with venom. He hated Lin Yi and Xiaoxiao to the core. These two came at the right time, right at the right time. Were they doing this on purpose? Moreover, this trap to smash the car, Was it deliberately set up by them? Yu Feng was furious, but his mind was clear. He knew that this wasn't a trap, and he could only treat it as a coincidence. A wise man knows when to retreat, and revenge is a dish best served cold. With that thought, Yu Feng took a deep breath and looked at Xianxia. Bro, how much is your car? I'll pay you. Pay. Do I look like a penniless person to you? Xianxia raged. I'm using you to act cool. How am I supposed to act cool if you pay me? Xianxia naturally wouldn't let this go so easily. Without waiting for him to speak, he started using his iron fist arts and started beating Yu Feng up. Yu Feng was humiliated. He was the young master of House Yu, and he'd been beaten up twice in just 2 days. He'd even been injured once. How was he supposed to live like this? What kind of people did Lin Yi have around him? Why were they all like this? Yu Feng didn't even have time to think before the fist landed on his body. He could only protect his vitals and crouch on the ground, not daring to fight back. He was afraid that Lin Yi would notice his chi. Lin Yi, just you wait. One day, I'll return the humiliation I've suffered today to you 10-fold, 100-fold. After a while, Xianxia realized that Yu Feng wasn't fighting back, and he felt that it was pointless. Beating a dead man didn't make him look heroic at all, so he kicked Yu Feng when he was tired. Are you dead or not? If you're not, get up and pay me. Yu Feng was a mystic early phase peak. How could he be knocked out so easily by a golden class early phase physical practitioner? He got up from the ground gloomily, took a deep breath, suppressed his anger and asked, how much? 5 million. Xianxia called out. Wah! Yu Feng paused. An Audi TT for 5 million? What kind of joke was this? 5 million was enough to buy 10 of them. Hurry up, stop bullshitting. Do you want to get beaten up again? Did I not beat you up enough just now? Xianxia glared at him angrily. You motherfucker. Yu Feng couldn't take it anymore. A golden class early phase physical practitioner dared to talk to him like this? Did he not want to live anymore? Yu Feng was at his limit. He had an urge to kill this guy even if he had to expose his strength. If Lin Yi interfered, he'd kill Lin Yi on the spot. Even if someone came to investigate, Yu Feng could say that he didn't know Lin Yi's background. It was just a conflict that turned into a tragedy. He couldn't be blamed, right? He didn't do it on purpose. Plus, it was the enemy who started it. Song Ming saw that Yu Feng was about to reveal his strength and jumped in fright. He ran over and grabbed Yu Feng's hand. Master Xie, hold it in. We have to hold it in.